Aloha, good evening everyone, and on this pleasant Wednesday night from North Orem, Utah, we welcome you to KSL Sports Rewind's presentation of high school football. And our coverage of Timpanogos football is presented by Brent Brown Toyota Scion as we welcome you to the final week of the season. And tonight, it's the Timpanogos Timberwolves celebrating senior night as they welcome in undefeated Region 7 champion Stansbury. Alongside our broadcast partner, Alex Amrine, Alexander Timolip here with you. Good to be with you all again. Okay, Amrine, turn to you. First thing I say is, this is it. Last night of the regular season, last chance to make a statement. All we know is that somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. I mean, at the end of the day, Stansbury is a very talented football team. We were talking a bit before the game here, just up on top of the press box, talking about how the Timberwolves have a lot of talented players, but Stansbury, it seems just at every position they have just an all-star. I think the Timberwolves are going to give one heck of a fight, but they have a tall task ahead of them.
So both teams coming off dominant victories last week as we're on the subject of those kinds of performances. Timpanogos defeating Tuella last week, 45-7, and Stansbury defeating Payson 52-14 last week on Thursday as well. A couple of Thursday games last week. What's really the one thing you're surprised about in coming into this game, given the fact that you would think on paper this is going to be close, but the talent gap is pretty big?
Yeah, I know. I mean, one of the big things that sticks out to me is how well Stansbury did against Payson, who we know that Timpanogos had a hard time playing against. That was their first loss of the season, right? And so, if you're talking just about, power rankings, okay, who beat who lost to who, then yeah, Stansbury's the favorite team. But then again, as you pointed out to me when we were doing prep for this game, it's senior night, right? They have a lot to fight for. It's a lot of these guys' last time to be playing at home before they go into the playoffs. And obviously playoff seeding, that's a whole other aspect. And so they're going to have a lot behind, just their plays tonight, and I'm excited to see what they have.
So speaking of what's behind the plays tonight, let's take a look at the Heidemann & Associates Keys to the Game, presented by Heidemann & Associates, the full-service law firm that is committed to winning for their clients. So, Amrine, what's one key we're looking at for both sides here tonight?
Well, let's start with Timpanogos. So I think we're taking Timpanogos. When you start with the Stallions' high-powered offense, you've got to shrink the field defensively. You need to be able to apply pressure with just 3 or 4 pass rushers, which is a hard task to do. But I think that they have the ability to do it. They have some great outside linebackers that they play down. They'll be able to get the job done. And then play cover 3 up top to shrink the field. They got to slow down that heavy passing offense. And also, Stallions have a really good running back duo in Dylan Hamilton and Brock Wilson. And then going over to the other side of the ball, Stansbury, just distribute the ball quickly. It's kind of just like vice versa. The other thing that they got to do in order to counterattack what I think Timpanogos is going to try to do tonight. They're a high-tempo offense. They release the ball quickly. They toppled Payson last week, 52-14, totaling 510 yards offensively. Their team has outscored opponents on an average score of 52-13.
Such gaudy numbers, Amrine, you talked about just now, and it really is hard to believe that the 2 losses that they've had this year have come against Payson and against Cedar Valley, teams that they put up 6 and 23 points against. It really is hard to believe.
Yeah, and the Timpanogos side, they were somewhat of an anomaly coming into the season. And, when we got Chase Riggs back, it wasn't as hot of an offense as we thought. We thought that Chase Riggs coming back, obviously we still saw that in the film, and then when we first saw him play here in person, he was still nursing that shoulder, little injury. I'm expecting to see a little bit of that tonight as well. Obviously, progress is going to be better each and every week. But we saw just so many great players. I mean, expect Luke Livingston to do Luke Livingston things. He is like the Cooper Cup of this team. And that's just, he's like Cooper Cup.
I think you're being a little kind there. You're being a little kind there.
I said last time, he's a Swiss Army knife. He can just do all sorts of things, and so I'm excited to see what he has. I definitely see that they're going to depend upon him as well as their other receivers they have here, but they're going to need to get creative, not just rely on Luke Livingston the whole time.
Of course, Stansbury comes into this game 9-0. Timpanogos will receive the kickoff, by the way. They won the toss. They'll get the football to kick off proceedings here this evening. Stansbury, as we said, won last week over Payson, 52-14. And they have a lot to prove coming into tonight. They're trying to get an undefeated regular season, something that, really has not been something we've heard about up the way in Tuella Valley the last couple of years. But the way they've been playing, the way they have so much talent this year, it's really not out of the question to think that this team might be able to go all the way to Rice-Eccles Stadium in a couple weeks.
And I'm so excited to see how everything's going to play out. Just watching the film on Stansbury is the first time I'm going to see them in person, actually. But I'm excited to see what they have to offer. Watching them play, sometimes it just looks like they're, a bunch of just grown men playing with other like little kids. There's such a talent gap, right? Like we just mentioned. But I think that the Timberwolves will be able to put up a pretty good fight. I'm taking Stansbury to win this game, but do not expect the Timberwolves to go down without a fight, like I just said.
Luke Danes is ready to kick off. The last chance we get to see these two teams before the playoffs. So we invite you to settle back in and watch as Dane sends us away, and the kickoff will be returnable for Tyler Miller. And Miller gets cleaned right at the 20-yard line. That's where the Timberwolves will start on offense. And as we said, they have a really tall task going up against a really physical Stansbury front seven here tonight.
Yeah, just something I saw just in film is just the sheer size, like the shoulders on these guys. These are just big dudes. And Timberwolves, you know, they've got some big guys too, but they're going to have to get creative. They're going to have to be elusive, rely on some of their speedy backs. And, you know, like right here, what I was expecting them to see is they got that screen package out. They have 4 receivers out to the left. Expect something there, maybe a little bit of trickery, possibly even a quarterback draw like we know they like to do so much.
First play of the game for Chase Riggs. He drops the pass and fires high, incomplete, off the fingertips of Luke Livingston, and that's not really a surprise to see them go to the well early on.
No, right? Might as well go to your best option off the beat right there, and just a bit too much on that throw right there. He was open across the middle. You know, keep on going back to that. That's something that's going to be interesting if they attack the middle of the field. If they can do that, I think that they're going to be able to score some points.
Riggs looks over to the sideline, gets an audible. 5 wide receivers in the set, second consecutive play. Riggs to pass, or rather hands off, throws, that's complete to Livingston, or that's Bretzing rather. Easton Bretzing making the catch for a gain of about a couple, and it'll be 3rd and about 7 to go.
And you were just praising the Stallions' defensive line. I think that the Timberwolves are respecting their opponent just by showing how quickly they're willing to get this ball out just in these last 2 plays.
3rd down and 7 here from the 25, very early on here in this game. Stallions showing blitz with a 4-man front with an extra linebacker. They back off. Now they have 4 coming. Riggs throws live, and it's incomplete, but we have a flag at the line of scrimmage. And the way Riggs is applauding, I think this is probably going to be a penalty against the Stallions. And if it is, I suspect it's going to be somewhat of a hands to a holding, a defensive holding, one you rarely ever see called nowadays. But it's going to give them a 1st down. Yeah, no, it must have been somewhere in the secondary right there, and I think that's a bit of a break for Chase Riggs. You know, going 0 for 3 is not the way you want to start this game, especially on senior night. You want to play at your tip-top performance when it's going to be, you know, your last game here.
1st down.
Yeah, and there's the 1st.
In fact, they called it a hands to the face penalty against the Stallions, so move the ball forward 10 yards, and that's a 1st down at the 35 now. Riggs looking, throws, that's complete. That's Graff, and Graff gets over the 40 to about the 43-yard line. He picks up about 8 on the play.
The Baker.
Yeah, and Chase Riggs, right after he released that ball, he got a little bit of a hit from behind, just a little bit of shove, a little more contact. I think he could have seen a ref for the passing call. As is their want, Austin Heaps' crew back to the line quickly. They'll come into the game 6-2, 4-2 in region play. Or 7-2 rather, 4-2 region play, all alone in the 3rd in region 7. Riggs, quick pass again, throws, that's complete to Bretzing, and Bretzing is knocked out of bounds close to midfield, and that is enough for the first non-penalty Timpanogos 1st down. 10:41 on the clock here in the 1st quarter. On this chilly Wednesday night, game time temperature around 70 degrees at kickoff. Wind, whatever there is from the back of us at about 5 miles an hour. Low temperature expected to dip all the way down into the 40s later on tonight in front of a late arriving Wednesday night crowd here at Timpanogos High. Watch Bretzing right here on a possible swing route out to the right. Play clock at 3. Now they get it off. Play action, throws, that is complete. And for a 1st down and more, Dash McCann into Stallion territory, out to the 35-yard line. That's more than enough for a 1st.
Dash McCann.
And you talked about attacking the middle of the field. Well, hold that thought. They'll get back to the line quickly. And Riggs instead will look to the line for an audible here.
I'm very impressed with high tempo they've been able to keep right now. You know, you think with a defensive unit like this, you might want to take a bit more time with your plays, but they're doing a really good job, you know, being consistent with what they've done all year.
Riggs throws high, sideline incomplete over the head of Caleb Hadley. But as we have a moment here, Amrine, you know, you talked about attacking the middle of the field early on. They're doing that so far against this defense.
They're doing good, and one thing that I liked so much last week that they did against Twilla was they had a great great job doing play action, and they're doing that here.
And they give it up the middle this time on the dive play to Bretzing.
Run up the middle by Easton Bretzing.
And he gets about maybe 5.
Brings up 2nd and 5.
You know, and
It'll bring up 3rd down and 5.
Bretzing's one of those guys, you know, we didn't really expect him to be as vital of a running back as he has been so far this year.
And they give it to him again. He gets met in the hole. He'll be close to a 1st down, but he will be 2 yards short. And given the fact that you are where you are, Amrine, I would assume this is a spot where you go for it. Not really in reasonable field goal range for Reed Harris. And no get back.
Flag on the play.
And that will be an offside, and that's going to be a 1st down for the Timberwolves as Stansbury had a man come across the line. That's Trent Jones, the middle linebacker, who came across the line. 2nd 1st down by penalty on this drive.
Yeah, and that was definitely something they must have practiced. You saw how smooth Chase Riggs went up to do that. That was something they had in their game plan on these 4th and short situations. They're going to go for it all night long.
Bretzing again on 1st down, slips through a hole out to the 20, and he gets wrapped up around the ankles and then gets buried out around the 19-yard line.
Brings up 2nd down and 6.
First contact made by Michael Jovian there for the Stansbury Stallions, as the Timpanogos Timberwolves are approaching the red zone here with 8:40 to go here in the 1st quarter. Just underway here on this Wednesday. From North Orem, Utah, game clock bug on your screen is unofficial. We're trying to keep it as in sync as possible with the stadium clock. 5 wide receivers will be in the pattern here. Riggs takes the snap, looking, throws to his right. He's got Livingston inside the 5, down to the 5, 1st and goal.
To Luke Livingston.
Quickly, they'll go back to the line again.
Good for another T-Wolf.
Another empty set here, it looks like, for Riggs and the Wolves. Livingston this time lines up one-on-one on the outside. And they'll look over to the line for an audible. Clock rolling, 8:06 left 1st quarter. 1st and goal at the 6. Again, 5 will go into the pattern. Play clock at 15. Riggs, high snap, looking, throws, end zone, touchdown! Guess who? Luke Livingston!
Touchdown!
It's a tale as old as time. Number 2 into the end zone. And just like that, Timpanogos on top 6-0.
And we know that we're going to have to keep count of how many times this guy gets into the end zone tonight. So there's number 1. And I want to know how many times Luke Livingston ran that slant over the middle. How many times Chase Riggs found him open and was able to complete the pass right there. What a great job.
Reed Harris, extra point is good. The senior playing his last home game for the Timberwolves. And the Timberwolves right down the field on the opening drive. 7-0 they lead here on KSLSports.com.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone or computer and select the low-rate option you prefer.
And then sit back and enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a low-rate line of credit. Ready for whatever life throws at you.
To learn more or start your application, visit uccu.com or stop by any branch.
Alexander Timberwolves, Alex Amrine here at Timpanogos High School. KSL Sports Rewind's presentation of high school football. Timpanogos High football is presented by Brent Brown. Toyota Scion, 7-0. Timpanogos leads off a 6-yard touchdown pass from Chase Riggs to Luke Livingston. What did you know? Reed Harris set to kick off. And it is a high kick that will be into the end zone for a touchback.
That'll be a touchback.
And that will bring out the Stallions offense for the first time here tonight, Amrine. And now it's on Ezra Harris and co to respond after giving up the early touchdown.
Yeah, and that last drive, something that I really liked was just how dynamic they were doing. You know, I've seen in times when the Timberwolves have struggled is when defenses force them to be one-dimensional, rely upon just, you know, one kind of play. There I saw all sorts of things happening. A little bit of trickery, you know, they love to run that kind of style where it looks like it's a designed RPO. It's just a play action over the middle to Luke Livingston over and over again. Very good job. I was really impressed. Stallions out here to respond now.
Brock Wilson will be the one who gets the handoff, and he breaks 3. Wilson up the middle to the 30-yard line, and Hunter comes in to get the tackle from behind. It's a pickup of 9 on first down. Right behind that big offensive line. And just like we saw with Austin Heaps' crew, they'll go right back to the line. And we're going to get a brief stoppage here while they tell the players to back up a bit from the line of scrimmage. Wilson, again on second down, gets to the left side. He'll be close to the first down. He'll have it. And that will be a pickup of a yard, but that's enough to move the sticks for the Stallions.
And we know what a high-powered, just running back duo they have. They rushed for over 300 yards last week, and that's something that, Timpanogos has kind of gotten exposed on defensively. We saw in the game. We have another stoppage right here.
Yeah, somebody's equipment got left behind over on the 20. Somebody's hand warmer. Referee tried to throw it out to the sideline and didn't really do a good job of it.
Yeah, valiant effort.
Aye.
He's no Chase Riggs.
No! Or Ezra Harris, that's for sure, as we're trying to get the play clock reset. Harris. And we are going to get a stoppage as the play clock did not get reset. The official put his two hands up in the air, pumping to say 40 seconds on the play clock, and then everybody took off. Yes. So now we'll try it again.
Some of the Stallions players visibly disappointed on that one because it looked like that was going to be a pretty good gain on the ground.
Harris now on 1st and 10. On the keeper, goes up the middle, and he gets into a pack of Wolves as Nash Price gets their first contact. He picks up about 5.
Gain of 5 yards. Brings up.
Yeah, right there. Really good job on the read right there. Keeping that ball. Brighton Tate kind of bit on that. Expected the running back to get it after 2 good carries.
And there goes Harris again. He'll be close to the first down. They'll give it to him at the 41-yard line.
So far, no passing plays.
Yeah, all runs here so far, Amrine. As Harris now ditches the towel. From the pistol now, 1st and 10 from the 41. Pick up a 5. Harris on the option, keeps it, left side. He goes absolutely nowhere. Everybody was not fooled on the play.
Harris with the keeper, stopped immediately by the T-Wolves.
Yeah, and if you want a defense to get some confidence, not only stop them at the line of scrimmage, but stop the quarterback at the line of scrimmage. Get into the quarterback's head. He is the leader of this offensive unit. Get into his head early.
Wilson again, right through the middle, and Brock Wilson is away at the 40. One man to beat the 30, the 20, 15, 10, down inside the 10-yard line. Boy, Brock Wilson showing you why he was good last week. There it is, another one right there.
Yeah, Brock Wilson right there, a wide open hole. That's a hard one to miss right there, and just punches up left, trusts his receivers to make those blocks against the secondary. Able to take it in about to the 7-yard line to get another play right here.
And it's Wilson again. He gets a couple down to the 5. Jax Yarachuk
Wilson tackled on the play.
Is the one who saved the touchdown. 2nd down now at the 5.
2nd and 6.
They officially mark it at the 6. You would think this is Brock Wilson territory. Again, no pass play so far. This is their first one, and it's dropped. A good idea on the RPO, but it went right through the hands of Dylan Hamilton, and now it's 3rd down.
Yeah, missed opportunity right there. Dylan Hamilton had it in his hands, unable to convert on that try. One thing that's, I think, is going to be interesting, they're spreading 4 receivers out right here, which really is, spreading out the secondary and the linebackers, which is leaving those big holes up the middle for Brock Wilson to run.
And they're going to fake it to him. Harris in trouble now, throws to the end zone, nearly picked off. Yarachuk
knocked down, incomplete.
Yarachuk got his hands on it, and it's 4th down. What a play by Yarachuk. If it wasn't him, it was probably going to be a touchdown. What a great play by the backup corner, making a name for himself on the first drive.
Yeah, that was a great job right there by Yarachuk, getting his hands up right there. So close to being an interception. We kind of held our breath right there, as did all the fans here at the stadium. If that ball had just a bit more touch on it, I think that this game would all be tied up at 7.
Danes now from in close for a field goal, and it is right through the middle.
Danes' field goal is good.
And so, with 5:43 officially on our clock here in the first quarter, 7-3 in favor of Timpanogos. Back after this word from Western Governors University.
They said I have to take tests when they tell me to.
They said my degree would cost a fortune.
But I didn't have to listen to them.
Because I have a university that listens to me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the University of You.
KSL Sports Rewind's presentation of the high school football playoffs begin next Friday, October 21st at 6 p.m. across KSLSports.com. Check the high school streaming guide for the games that will be airing on our network. There's no better place to experience the UHSAA playoffs like KSL Sports Rewind. Again, that begins next Friday. Only here on the official streaming partner of the UHSAA, KSLSports.com. Dane's set to kick off 7-3 in favor of Timpanogos. It's a short kickoff, and Hunter will come up and get it at the 9. And this time he gets a more decent return out to the 27-yard line. And that's where the Timpanogos Timberwolves will put it in play.
So something I'm expecting to see from the Stallions, after that first drive, I certainly wasn't expecting them, the Timberwolves to drive all the way down the field. And it was a long drive, too. It wasn't like, some of these drives we've seen in the past where they just have like one big play and they're able to punch it in the red zone. That was just, 4, 5, 6-yard gains time and time again. So many times to Luke Livingston, and not just him, but Brett Singh as well, and many others got some plays in there. I'm expecting them to perhaps, try a bit of man coverage. We saw some zone. That left some gaps open in the middle right there. As we get stacks right at the bottom of your screen, as you can see once more as they started off the last drive.
And Livingston is the Wildcat in the gun. This is as his want. He takes the direct snap, and boy, did he get hit. Boy, he got a lick put on him there in the middle.
The 30-yard line brings up
That's
2nd and 8.
Number 52 there for Stansbury. My goodness, Ezra Gleed was not letting him pass on that one. And he got maybe a couple. And he made sure he felt that.
And something that's so impressive about Luke Livingston and why so many colleges are looking at him is his toughness.
Riggs from the gun, 5 into the pattern. Quick pass up the sideline, looking for Livingston, and it's over his head and out of bounds. Good coverage there on the corner, one-on-one. Out of the corner there was Jackson Corbett, the senior.
And Riggs right there trying to hit him on that little, over the shoulder right there. Sometimes that it comes down to just practice and knowing each other's tendencies right there. A little bit of a miscue right there. I don't think it was a terrible throw. But right now, big 3rd down if they want to keep this momentum going.
Very big 3rd down. They had a first down via a penalty on a couple of their 3rd downs. They're 0 for 2 so far, but they do have a first down via penalty on a 3rd down. Riggs throws over the middle, passes incomplete, and there's no flag. Pretty good coverage there on the play by Dylan Hamilton, who plays both ways, and 3 and out for the Timberwolves.
Yeah, we got some cries for the rest from the fans here for maybe a holding and pass interference. I think that was pretty clean right there. He just had that left round, playing his hips, get that hand right in front of him. I mean, that's textbook right there. And yeah, fortunately for Stansbury Stallions, they didn't have a hands to the face penalty because that really saved the Timberwolves in the last time.
Reed Harris set to kick, the senior playing his last home game for the Timberwolves, gets it away in the direction of Dylan Hamilton. It'll take a forward hop and go out of bounds at the 40-yard line. The market there at the 40, 30-yard punt, no return, net 30 for Reed Harris. KSL Sports Rewind's coverage of high school football is presented all season long by Western Governors University, where you can earn a 1-year MBA with WGU. They offer an education that is full of support, full of attention, and also affordable, online, and accredited. That's the power of the University of U. Alexander Timlip alongside Alex Amrine. 7-3 our score here with just halfway home here in the first quarter as Ezra Harris hands off to Brock Wilson, and he goes nowhere. Swarmed under by Brighton Tate & Co. right at the 40-yard line. He got maybe a fingernail.
Yeah, set the tone for the drive right there. And, right there, it wasn't just one defensive lineman making a spin move to get through. I mean, that was probably 2 or 3 of them and stopped Brock Wilson right at the line of scrimmage. Almost got a false start right there.
Oh, almost got offside.
Yeah, offsides rather. Excuse me.
And again, Timpanogos exclusively playing with a 3-man front here. Wilson goes in motion, throw the middle, passes deflected and incomplete. What a play made by MJ Yosefo over the middle.
Yeah, MJ Yosefo, we saw him so much on the other side of the ball playing running back while Chase Riggs was injured and Luke Livingston was filling in for the quarterback Riggs. But MJ Yosefo, he's shown what a valuable piece is in the middle of the field for the Timberwolves right there. On that one right there, just a little bit more, just tempo right there from the safety, and that could have been an easy tip drill.
First 3rd down on the opposite side of the field for Stansbury. 3rd down and 10. Wilson looking, throws over the middle. He's got a man. Wilson, goodbye. Hello, end zone, touchdown.
Harrison's pass to Wilson for touchdown.
That was some bread and butter right there.
There is a flag down at the 36 or 37-yard line, but given where the flag is, Amrine, I probably think this is defensive holding, and this is going to stand.
Yeah.
Tage Lister was the one in coverage, but he got burned. And it is indeed
touchdown is good.
A defensive, or it's a sideline warning, rather, against Stansbury, and that will allow the touchdown to stand. Third down touchdown for the Stallions, Amrine. What a throw that was, too, by Harris.
Yeah, great throw, right on the money. Led his receiver perfectly. You know, not terrible coverage by, you know, the corner. Did get a flag on the play. But, you know, that shows how tight he was playing, but just perfectly placed ball.
Luke Daines knocks through the extra point, and with 4:14 to go, just like that, Stansbury goes up on Timpanogos 10-7.
Or 10. T-Wolf 7.
You know, and something about that play, you know, when, you know, you're trying to convert right there, a quarterback has a tendency to, you know, go through his progressions, look through the levels and see which guy he wants to go through. Of course, you know, obviously want to go through a guy who's above the sticks to get that first down right there. But, you know, it looked like he kind of had a good idea of who he was going to go to as soon as that ball got into his hands off the snap. And, you know, sometimes I think quarterbacks can get in their own heads saying, okay, I have to make this throw. He was just calm, cool, collected. It just looked like a pre-game throw. Really well done. They obviously practiced that route over and over again. Just a little, like, post over the middle. Great job right there to get the lead.
Luke Daines set to kick off here. 10-7 is our score in favor of Stansbury. Alexander Timolip, Alex Amrine on this chilly Wednesday night here in North Orem, Utah. Tyler Hunter set to receive the kickoff. Whatever wind is going at the back of Daines here, it's a line drive. They'll be taken by Hunter at the 2. And Hunter breaks free. Kicker to beat. Tyler Hunter is hunting down the end zone. Down he goes at the 20.
Tyler Hunter with
if there was ever a time they needed a play, that's what they needed right there, and they got it. Daines, the kicker, was the one that stopped him.
Yeah, everyone in the stadium is feeling it. Sideline is pumped. Fans are pumped. And Tyler Hunter, what a great job right there. No doubt that he's pumped right now. Great job just punching that hole up the middle. You know, and the kicker right there, he took a little while to commit to him. I was worried that he was going to be able to catch up to him and that Hunter was going to take it the distance, able to take him down just inside of the red zone right there. That's exactly what the Timberwolves need. Yeah, I mean, this right here, this is a golden opportunity to take back the lead and set the tempo again. Get back that momentum. Don't let, you know, 10 unanswered points right now get into your head. You know, set the tone for the game. Get it back.
78-yard return by Tyler Hunter. 5 wide into the pattern. Livingston one-on-one top of your screen. Riggs in the gun. And Riggs looks left, throws left, complete. That's Graff. Brought down at about the 14-yard line. Pick up a 6.
Chase Riggs' pass was complete.
Stallions bringing more pressure. They dropped 6 on that one.
Picks up 2nd down and 4 from the 15.
Again, another spot problem.
Move to the 14.
3rd one this night.
Yep. Is that kind of a game? It's going to be that kind of a game we've seen early on here as Riggs brings Bretzing back into the shotgun. Livingston now one-on-one. Now Easton Baker drops out into coverage on him. That's a new wrinkle. And Riggs looks his way, throws, and it's broken up. And what a play there by Hamilton. Baker went over to the right. Hamilton dropped into coverage, and a great job breaking on that route.
You know, well, the defensive coordinator for the Stallions, he knew what they were doing. You know, so often like to have Bretzing on that little wheel route and have Luke Livingston on that slant right there. Good job pushing out Ethan Baker to come up, be right there for the flat route in case they go to Bretzing on that safety valve, and then just punch it in the middle. Just, oh, that could have been pick right there. Really, really easy. Really lucky it wasn't picked.
Riggs now on 3rd down, looking, throws to the end zone, touchdown! Easton Bretzing!
Chase Riggs pass to Easton Bretzing for a touchdown.
What a response by the Timpanogos Timberwolves as they jump back on top.
A great job by Chase Riggs right there, not letting that nearly picked play on the last one get in his head, you know, shake it off. No, it's a golden opportunity to score. And, yeah, once again, bread and butter. We're seeing a lot of really good plays on both offensive units.
Set up by the 78-yard kick return. Harris Reed's extra point is good.
PT is good.
14-10 is now your score. 3:17 to go. Back after this word from UCCU.
Feet for the fight song.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs. Just complete an application on your phone or computer, or stop by any branch.
.3:17 to go here in the first quarter. What a start we have had here in North Orem, Utah. 14-10, Timpanogos leads here on KSL Sports coverage of Timpanogos football, presented by Brent Brown Toyota Scion. Alexander Timop alongside Alex Amrine. 2 touchdown passes for Chase Riggs, 1 to Luke Livingston, 1 to Easton Bretzing. Brock Wilson on the receiving end of an Ezra Harris touchdown. 4 drives, all ending in scores. What do we have next?
Yeah.
What twist do we have next on this senior night story? Reed Harris kicks off, and it goes right through the end zone for a touchback out the back.
You know, Alex, if you were to tell me at this point in the first quarter with a little over 3 minutes left that 24 points would have been scored, I would have believed you. But I would have thought the score would have been, you know, heavily in favor of Stansbury. Not 14-10 with the Timberwolves leading by 4 right here, 14-10. Yeah, it's been a really good game. They certainly humbled me. I'm excited. I love the way that Chase Riggs is playing. He's playing a very clean game, obviously. You know, teams like to script the way they start games. I think this game is very scripted, you know, the way that they've gone through. They have certain game plans and tendencies, even defensively, as right here, you know, they've done a good job of slowing down this pretty impressive run team right there. They stop him one more time.
Yeah, Wilson got absolutely slammed in the backfield.
Tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
Joe Vance, the senior, playing his last home game along with Nash Price.
Back to the line of scrimmage, 2nd down and 10.
No gain on that one.
Yeah, so far, this has been my favorite game that's been coached from this Timberwolves side so far this year.
Here he is again, and this is Wilson again up the middle, and he's got a first down out to the 35. The ball came out. And are they going to say it's Timpanogos football? I thought he was down too, I thought he was down, Amrine, and they're going to say it is.
I think he was down.
Stansbury ball, yes.
I think if anything, he might have just been putting the ball on the ground, knowing that he was already on the ground.
Yeah, gave himself up right there. Harris almost dropped the snap. Now it's the takeoff, and down he goes. Brighton Tate, MJ Yosefo slammed the door in his face.
On Harris.
Yeah, well, hey, they said, fine, you know, we don't get that fumble recovery, we'll just sack your quarterback. You know, we'll take that too.
What a start to this game. It's been an active, physical start. Another option keeper. Harris has nowhere to go, and he's going to get smothered at the line of scrimmage, and it'll bring a 3rd down.
You know, it's kind of funny. You know, we've seen the way the Timberwolves have struggled thus far, and it's almost like the Stallions are playing in that one-dimensional way that we've seen the Timberwolves sometimes get caught off guard playing. You know, the way the Timberwolves are playing, they look like a Stansbury offense, the way how dynamic they are.
What a throw and catch right there for the first down as Harris completes that pass on the money.
Harris's pass complete.
To Trent Jones, that's enough for a first down.
Yeah, and Trent, he took a big hit right there. It's a lower back. He saw a bit of a whiplash right there. Hope he's feeling good. He's still on the field for this next play. Look to him to contribute more on this drive.
They needed 8. They got close to 15 on that one. 1st and 10 now at the 46. 1:37 to go in this high-scoring first quarter. Handoff up the middle, and again, not much room to run for that Stansbury offense. Luke Danes this time with the carry, and he got maybe a half a foot.
You know, I'd like to see a bit more variety here. Obviously, you know, it's still the first quarter. They still have a lot left in their game plan and their playbook. But so far right here, it seems pretty dry thus far.
2nd down and 9 now from the 47-yard line. Again, all 4 of our drives have ended in scores. Harris, play action, blitz coming, right side looking, throws, and it's complete. Hamilton in coverage, and he gets away from a man still on his feet and brought down at the 30, but not before he picked up another 26 yards and another first down.
Yeah, and Hamilton right there is breaking those tackles. That's one thing that we saw the Timberwolves struggle against Cedar Valley when we went out there over to Eagle Mountain a few weeks ago. You know, they had a hard time taking down their running back Jenkins.
Oh, and that pass.
Harris's pass incomplete.
Is incomplete, and somebody got flipped up head over heels. That's the danger on those RPO plays. Oh my goodness, and this does not look good. And I know the fans are going to be upset about it, but there's nothing you can do about plays like that. It's just an unfortunate play on those RPOs where somebody gets put up in the air.
Looks like the player's holding his head here, and, there's been so much concern around the nation regarding football.
It sure has.
So many more just on the offensive side of the ball, roughing the passer penalties. Just seen in the NFL, the first few weeks of the season, we only saw 2 roughing the passer penalties, gone up to 14 just this last week. There's an expectation for refs to watch for these head injuries more. We hope this player is going to do okay and that he'll walk off on his own strength.
Well, we may be here a while, folks. We're going to hope the best for Nash Price, who got put up in the air on that last play. We'll be right back.
When Brent Brown Toyota in Orem became the #1 Toyota dealer in the nation in customer loyalty, our sales surged. That continued explosive growth leaves us without the amount of used cars to meet demand, paying unheard of prices for trade-ins, or we'll just buy your car outright at Brent Brown Toyota in Orem.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs. Just complete an application on your phone or computer, or stop by any branch.
Still got 3 quarters of football left, a lot of great things to play for. We're excited to be here for the rest of it.
And it starts with a read option keeper by Harris, who no doubt is going to be watching his back. And Harris breaks free to the outside, and he gets all the way down to the 15-yard line. And that's enough for a first down with 29 left in the quarter.
And I won't lie, I need to do a better job of listening until the whistle and watching until the whistle, because I saw him get wrapped up and I thought it was all done, and then he had a few more yards right there, put him in the red zone.
It starts with a pass. That is complete. And getting taken down close to the marker is Jones.
Pass complete to Jones.
And it'll be second down and less than a yard now from about the 6-yard line.
Or 7-yard line, second down.
Empty set here on second and goal. Hamilton comes in motion. The keeper is by Harris, and Harris breaks free into the secondary, and he gets the first down, but not by a whole lot. He gets down to about the 3-yard line, and that will likely do it for the first quarter. There's still 2 seconds officially left on our clock, and it will be first and goal for the Stansbury Stallions when we return from this break. An emotional and somewhat sobering first quarter comes to an end, with the Timpanogos Timberwolves in front, 14-10. KSL Sports Rewind's presentation of Timpanogos football, presented by Brent Brown Toyota Scion, continues. Alexander Timlip, Alex Amrine here at Timpanogos High School. Start of the second quarter. All four of our scoring drives
soccer team, coached by Robin Bretzing,
have ended in scores.
Mariah Brady and Summer Christensen. The team finished the season 11-1 and took home the region title for a second year in a row.
The Stansbury Stallions are threatening inside the 5.
Number 3 East tomorrow in the quarterfinals at 4
this has been one heck of a game. I think that we are in shootout mode right now.
And off goes to Wilson, and he's in. Touchdown.
Goes in practically untouched right there. Good job.
Unmolested, really.
Touchdown.
And 5 drives, 5 scores for both teams, and now it is 16-14 just underway here in the second quarter, and now Danes will come in to kick the extra point. Good snap, good hold. The kick is blocked and no good.
PAT is blocked.
Brighton Tate was there, but I believe it was Tage Litster who got his fingers on it, and it remains a 2-point game.
Tage Litzer, we've seen him make some pretty good plays on the defensive side of the ball, showing up on the special teams unit right there, and keeps that a 2-point game, which keeps things interesting. Expect that missed extra point. With the game this close, that could very easily become a big deal late in the fourth quarter.
It certainly could, Amrine. I mean, 5 scoring drives on all 5 drives so far, and given the fact that, we expected this coming in, a shootout, points come at a premium in these kind of situations.
Yeah, it comes into one of those situations that's going to change the whole game plan for Stansbury, or very could well change their game plan. And also for the Timberwolves, at this point, if the game were to, we're in the fourth quarter, field goal would win it, right? And so it's all the scenarios that are possible. Expect Stansbury to get into the end zone. They probably will, based on the rate these offenses are going at each other. expect a 2-point conversion attempt.
Luke Dane set to kick off from the 40. 11:55 officially on our clock here in the first half. 16-14 Stansbury. It's a short kick toward that end zone, and coming up to get it is McCann. McCann gets out to the 10, 15, 20. Penalty flag goes down. And he gets tagged right about the 15-yard line, but where the flag's tossed about the 18-yard line, I suspect it's going to be a holding.
Flag on the play.
Or a block in the back.
That's what you see so commonly.
You really do. It's not really a terrible surprise anymore to see something like that.
It's one of those things that the special teams coaches and those units, need to be coached on so well, because it's just such an instinct when you're trying to block for your guy, just get the other opposing players to the ground. Easy way to do that. Hey, give them a little push while they're not looking, but that's going to get called 9 times out of 10. Got called right there. And this will be interesting now. As it looks like it was actually called on the return team. So it was a bit of a holding call right there.
1st and 10.
Actually, it's a blindside block, so that's a
blindside block.
Blindside block, which is even worse because it backs it up to the 8-yard line.
Yeah, and this is going to be the first time that Timberwolves defense takes the field since we saw, or the offense, excuse me, take the field since Nash Price's injury late in the first quarter. So we'll see how motivated they are coming off of that and how motivated they are to get back this lead.
They'll go 5 wide on 1st down and 10 from inside their own 10-yard line. Easton Baker lines up in the slot. One-on-one coverage on the near side. And Riggs looking, throws out that way. That's Bretzing wide open. And getting him down is Baker at the 30-yard line. Well, we have this saying in Hawaii that June would throw from the goal line. There it is.
And right there, they've been having Bretzing run those little out routes all night long. That time they ran an out route, but it's designed as an out and up, and it worked perfectly right there. He was looking at him the whole way. Perfectly placed ball. Great job right there for a big gain.
Right over the top of Easton Baker, the 4-star recruit linebacker. 24 on the gain there for Bretzing, as Riggs will drop back into the shotgun with him now.
Yeah, and you had a lot of praise for Easton Baker as well.
Sure did. Here's Bretzing, though. And Easton Bretzing saying, I can do some of this, too. All the way out, close to the 41-yard line. Another 1st down. On a pick up a 10.
For another T-Wolf.
5 wide into the pattern again. Luke Livingston lines up bottom of your screen against Hamilton, who by far and away is probably Stansbury's best cover corner, and now they'll switch. And it looks like they're in man. One safety back over the top for Chase Riggs, who's got a man open. That's Livingston, back shoulder, and Livingston is free. Goodbye. Touchdown.
Luke Livingston, touchdown.
And that
58-yard touchdown pass. His 2nd catch of the night.
And that's touchdown number 2 for Luke Livingston. What a great play right there. It wasn't the perfectly placed ball in the world, but he just jumped right in front of the corner and got the ball, and then just turned on the jets down the sideline. Broke out of a tackle, little high step into the end zone.
58-yard touchdown strike. Harris's extra point is good.
PT is good. Making the score, Stansbury 16.
10:40 to go in the second quarter. 21-16 is your score. Alexander Timop alongside Alex Amrine for KSL Sports Rewind's presentation of Timpanogos football, presented by Brent Brown Toyota Scion. Luke Livingston with his 2nd touchdown catch of the night. This time 58 yards on the score. What a response. So 6 scoring drives, 6 scores. As Harris kicks off into the corner, it will be returnable for Wilson. Wilson to the 20, and didn't make the 20, brought down to the 14-yard line. Jose Reyes, the senior, brought him down.
Jose Reyes.
We've seen that kind of kick so many times from Reed so far this season, and Timberwolves do a really good job of just pinning him in the corner, getting them inside the opposing team's own 20-yard line right here. And something to know, we've had 2 scores in just a matter of, I think just over 2 minutes. And so I said, hey, expect a shootout. We're in shootout mode, and I think we're starting to see it now.
6 drives, all ending in scores, and we've had 2 scores in the first 2 minutes, as Amrine said, of the first part of the second quarter. Harris now fakes the pitch, runs up the middle, and he gets about maybe 3.
Harris with the keeper up the middle.
Rocked down around the ankles there by Joe Vance.
3. Brings up 2nd down and 7 from the 18-yard line.
Harris now empty set on 2nd down and 7. Low snap, looks over the middle, throws, that's complete. That's Wilson, and Wilson could be away. Breaks a couple of tackles. Being chased from behind. He finally gets brought down in midfield.
Wilson with the reception.
Brock Wilson.
Good gravy, man.
Yard line.
He was running and gunning on that play. People cannot take him down. I love that last little spin move just to get a few extra yards. I mean, he's going to fight for each and every yard that he can get right there.
1st and 10 now from the 49. Harris looking, throws, Wilson again, down the middle on the post, inside the 30.
Harris's pass complete to Wilson.
Why not go back to him?
Why not go back to him? They've been going to him almost every play exclusively tonight. The same way they've gone to Livingston on the other side all night. 1st and 10 now from the 27. A busted play. Harris is going to have to eat it, and he gets sacked.
Harris with the keeper.
Hunter there, along with some friends.
Yeah, right there. And the Timberwolves have done a decent job, getting in the backfield, getting some tackles for loss. But it's just some of these big plays, is keeping this Stansbury offense on its feet. 4 plays of 20-plus yards on this drive alone.
Harris, quick pass. That is complete on the edge. That's Hamilton. Hamilton gets outside, inside the 15, and down to the 14-yard line. Lister finally knocked him down, but not before he picked up another 14 yards.
And the sideline wishing for a hold call. I don't agree with that one right there. I think the refs made the right decision. No hold call on that wide receiver block.
17-yard line now, 1st and 10. All the drives have been into the red zone at some point. Here's Wilson up the middle, and he gets wrestled on the turf after a gain of about 5.
So something to note for this Stansbury defense, this is the most points that they've allowed so far this season, with the exception of Skyline earlier this season, played up in Idaho Falls. The score of that game, 68-42. The only other game that's allowed another team to score as many points, I think it's taken down within the 5, and there's a late flag, was Ridgeline earlier in the season, back in August.
Yeah, a couple of them, Amrine. You saw the flags come out, and I suspect this is coming back. It was thrown from the umpire, and so generally where there's an umpire throwing the flag, that's normally where you see holding.
Mm-hmm.
Just a bit here on Luke Livingston. His father Spencer here is in the crowd, of course, tonight, or watching from home somewhere along the way. This is ridiculous. I mean, he had 28 touchdowns total coming into this game, and he now has 30, Amrine. He has 2 tonight, and he has 177 yards average receiving. That's number 1 in the entire state. And I bet you he's already at 100 yards right now.
Mm-hmm. No, he's truly an incredible player, just a sight to behold. I mentioned earlier, there's a reason why so many college teams are interested in this young man.
2nd down and 4. Wilson up the middle. Touchdown.
Wilson up the middle. Touchdown, Stansbury.
Brock Wilson into the end zone, and now Stansbury answers back in a hurry.
Brock Wilson, that's not the first time he's gotten to the end zone so far tonight. And right there, I think that's something that separates good running backs to great running backs, is them fighting for each and every yard. We've seen that so far tonight, but on that one right there, he had that last little roll, just rolled on top of the Timberwolves defender and into the end zone for the score.
So now, because of the blocked extra point earlier, the Stallions will go for 2.
Yeah, try to make this a 3-point game.
Exactly, try to make it a 3-point game here. Play clock is down to 9. Play clock down to 3. They just got it off. Harris rolling, throws into the back of the end zone, and that was way overthrown. Hamilton was well covered by Tyler Hunter. And so the Stansbury Stallions get 6, but they don't get the 8.
Yeah, right there on the 2-point conversion, they had a designed QB rollout to the right there. Had 2 guys that were lined up on the outside, run little ins to create some space for the guy running that post corner. Overthrown right there, but good coverage by the Timberwolves. Everyone was on there, guy pretty good. I think even if that ball was close, that would have been an incomplete pass due to the defensive coverage.
Behind the West bleachers.
KSL Sports Rewind's presentation of high school football is presented all season long
choice of potato salad or
by
coleslaw.
Western Governors University, where you can earn a 1-year MBA with them, and they offer an education that is attainable, affordable, and full of support. KSL Sports Rewind is proud to have WGU as the sponsor of high school football.
Grab yourself a hot dog, cheeseburger, shaved ice, whatever you're looking for.
8:47 to go here in the first half. 22-21 in favor of Stansbury. 7 drives, 7 scores, no punts. Luke Daines kicks off. It's a line drive kick that will hop and will be taken on the run by Hunter. And Hunter gets nailed right at the 20-yard line, and there's a flag. And I don't know about that one, Amrine. I thought there was a clean hit there with the shoulder, but apparently the official said not.
Yeah, and, you know, that's one of the things that's hard with, you know, refs being, you know, trying to call those head-to-head injuries, you know, anything above the neck. Sometimes you just get kind of, you know, I don't know if oversensitive is the right word, but, you know, they're so prone to call those right there. But, you know, there wasn't a head lowered. You know, you didn't drop the shoulder right there. It kind of just looked like, you know, their heads just collided. I think that was as much on the returner as it was the one who took him down.
Alex Giovian was the one who took down Tyler Hunter. And it just looked like shoulder-to-shoulder contact. I don't know if that was really a targeting to me. But I guess from our angle, we can't really definitively say if it was a target or not.
Yeah, if that was one of those that's reviewable, I think that's one of the those
that
ones,
would be one they would be overturning, that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So from the 35 now, Livingston on the backwards screen, and that didn't fool anybody on that Stansbury defense. They were ready for that one.
Livingston with the carry.
You know, we've seen some design plays where they'll have Livingston come up on like what looks like a bubble screen, and we'll actually get a bit of a double play. And so I was kind of, you know, seeing, are they going to pull that rabbit out of the hat that early right there? But that one just a simple bubble screen.
2nd down, 12 now from the 33. Livingston lost 2 on the play. Again, 5 wide into the pattern, as we've seen most of the night here so far. They show blitz, and they come with it. Riggs throws right side, and that is incomplete. Wide of the intended receiver, Dash McCann. Baker putting the pressure on Riggs there.
Yeah, tough right there for Riggs when he's got all that pressure right in his face to make an accurate throw, especially to the outside right there. You know, sometimes that can get a little risky, too, if you're not sure how tight the coverage is right there. But, you know, he knew that the secondary was playing off his guy, so he just needed to kind of put it in the general vicinity, just a bit out of the reach of his receiver right there to set up 3rd down.
8 minutes even to go officially here in the quarter. 3rd down and 12 now from the 33. Longest 3rd down that Timpanogos has faced thus far tonight. Riggs, 4-man rush. Good protection. Rolls out of the pocket. Still got time. Finding Livingston. Cannot get it there with enough mustard on it. Hamilton was in coverage. And it's 4th down, and that will be the first punt we see tonight from either side.
Yeah, you know, we saw that first drive where a hands to the face penalty extended that first drive for the Timberwolves, which resulted in the first score of the game and the touchdown. That right there, you know, I was expecting to see, you know, like you said, a bit more mustard on that ball. He had time to throw right there. He was out all by himself, just short for Luke Livingston, who did everything he could to try and make that catch.
Reed Harris now to punt it away. Actually, this is his 2nd punt of the game. It's with the wind, and it's a good one. End-over-end line drive. That'll be taken by Hamilton at the 30. He breaks a tackle. Got his hands around the hog-tied around the nameplate, but no flag.
I was wondering,
didn't really look like there was enough contact to generate a horse collar.
Yeah, I think he had his hand there, but there wasn't enough, you know, tugging. He didn't really take him down with the back of his jersey right there to
Brighton Tate
call for a flag.
Brighton Tate's the one who brought him down with 7:41 to go here in the quarter. So all our drives except 2 have ended in touchdowns or field goals here so far.
You know, and what the Stansbury defense is thinking right now, you're thinking offense. Come on, we got these guys off the field. Come on, get us some points. Make it worth our while right here. You know, we did our jobs. You guys do yours.
As Trent Jones shoes his hand warmer behind the play. Harris, quick pass. That's complete. That's Hamilton. Hamilton to the secondary. He's still going. And Lister finally yanks him down from behind. At about the 25-yard line.
Out to the 25-yard line.
Not before, though, he picked up another 36 yards, another big chunk play.
Yeah, and, you know, one of the things that I was thinking about going to this game is the Timberwolves really need to shut down the middle of the field. They've been exposed a few times now on those, you know, posts over the middle. Lister right there. Kind of had to slow him down a little bit, but grabbing the back of his jersey. But once again, no horse collar tackle.
Harris in trouble. Now steps up, throws, gets it underneath, complete. That's Hamilton. Knocked out of bounds inside the 15 at about the 11-yard line. 15 on the pickup there for Hamilton, who's been the #1 choice so far for Ezra Harris.
Well, fortunately, right there, Hamilton just stuck right there. He just ran a little curl route and just waited for his quarterback to get out of pressure and then found him for the easy pickup.
1st and goal now at the 9. Harris, play action, throws, that's complete. And Hamilton is brought down. Great open field tackle by Hunter.
Harrison's pass complete.
3rd straight play, they've gone to Hamilton, the reliable target on this drive.
5-yard line.
Sure has. I mean, talk about a reliable target. I mean, he's had most of the catches here so far. He also has 2 receiving touchdowns so far. Ezra Harris has thrown 3 for the Stallions. Harris dropped the snap, and it's going to have to eat it. And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. Vance and Yosefo
tackled immediately
there to smother him. And once again, we'll bring up 3rd down.
And that's the 2nd time we've seen a botched snap for the Stallions in that play. But fortunately, both times been able to recover, keep these drives going. That would have been really unfortunate if they were to lose the ball at the 5-yard line.
3rd down and goal at the 5. Wilson in the backfield. Harris, play action, sprint out, throws, complete, Jones! Touchdown, Stansbury! Or did he get in? No, he did not. He's short. He is short by about a yard. I thought he extended the ball across the plane. He did not get there.
Brings up.
And an obvious 4th down at the 1. And here we go.
I love that play design right there. Jones reached for it. I thought he did break the plane as you did, but marked just short. 4th and goal. This is big time right here.
Wilson, touchdown!
Touchdown, Stansbury.
Something that I've seen the Stallions offense do so well. The offensive line is doing a really good job penetrating, especially on the left side. Their left guard and left tackle, they're creating hole time and time again in that B gap and that C gap. That's how they're able to score on the last go-around, so able to finish off this drive as well.
3rd touchdown of the night for Brock Wilson rushing. That's his 4th total one of this game. Danes now for the extra point. Remember, he had a block last time, and he's going to have to try it here from the 7-yard line, or now we have an offside, so he'll get a closer shot at it. So maybe Eric Alder might think about going for 2 again, but given the fact it's a 7-point game, I don't know if he will.
Yeah, no, I think
yeah, he just waved off the official. He said he's not going to take it.
Yeah, going for an 8-point game, might as well go for it, because that already puts so much pressure on the Timberwolves side, because they know at some point they're going to have to get a 2-point conversion just to tie up this game. I think that any coach, knowing that, is just licking his chops at all the possibilities, because he knows what that's going to force his opponent to have to do.
So we'll do it again from the 2-yard line as Eric Alder declines the offside, not wanting to make it worth his time here. And this time, Danes' kick is perfect.
Danes' PAT is good.
So with 5:31 to go here in the first half, it is 29-21 in favor of Stansbury. Back after this.
Other universities didn't fit into my life.
They said I'd have to quit my job to go to school.
They said it would take me 4 years to graduate. They said I have to take tests when they tell me to.
They said my degree would cost a fortune.
But I didn't have to listen to them.
Because I have a university that listens to me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the University of You.
To all our staff workers out there.
KSL Sports Rewind's presentation of high school football continues. 29-21. Stansbury has scored 13 unanswered here in the last 6 minutes or so. And they lead by 8 now late here in the first half. Alexander Timolip, Alex Amrine for KSL Sports Rewind's presentation of high school football. Timpanogos football presented by Brent Brown, Toyota Scion. On this chilly night from North Orem, Utah. Luke Danes is set to kick off, and he does so with a short poocher that is taken by Hunter at the 4. And Hunter runs into his own man and tries to step out of a couple of tackles, and now he's going to get run over
Hunter with
at
the
about
turn.
the 18-yard line.
Out about the 18-yard
Yeah, Hunter
line.
after taking a head-to-head injury, or a head-to-head hit,
First and
excuse me,
10 T-Wolves.
on that last kickoff return. I think it took about 4 or 5 hits for him to finally come down. And something that you mentioned as we were coming out of the break, that you said 16 unanswered points now. To start off the game after the Timberwolves, you know, got up, then it was 10 unanswered points. And so they're kind of getting this rhythm of, you know, scoring, and then they kind of stall a little bit. And in that moment where they stall, their defense seems to struggle a little bit as well. So with the Timberwolves, you know, they're going to want to take advantage right here, hopefully keep that kind of that rhythm going, that pattern, right? Get the lead back right here, as of course they'll need a touchdown as well as a 2-point conversion just to tie the game.
Still a lot of time, though, left, Ryan, as Riggs looking throws to the right. That's complete to Livingston. Oh, we almost cut out of that one. Brought down by Hamilton. And if Hamilton doesn't get him around the shoelaces, he's probably still running. As we get late into this first half, 2nd down and 2 now from the 18. Livingston has 2 touchdowns receiving tonight. And Easton Bretzing has the other one for Timpanogos. Under 5 minutes to go here in the quarter. What an offensive explosion we have expected and seen here from both sides. From the 27, Livingston looked over the middle throw. That is incomplete as it's knocked down there by Hamilton.
Livingston brings up.
Yeah,
that is 3rd down and short.
That was pretty tight coverage played on Luke Livingston right there. They also had a linebacker playing over the middle right there. I'm surprised that he didn't get a hand on it, but the defensive back in coverage was on Luke Livingston pretty tightly.
Riggs trying to draw the Stallions offside. This time they don't bite. And so he'll drop back into the traditional shotgun. Play clock down to 5. And now Austin Heaps will take a timeout, and we will do so as well.
Timeout, T-Wolves.
Big 3rd down coming up for the Timpanogos Timberwolves. We'll be back after this word from Brent Brown Toyota Scion from UCCU.
When Brent Brown Toyota in Orem became the #1 Toyota dealer in the nation in customer loyalty, our sales surged. That continued explosive growth leaves us without the amount of used cars to meet demand, paying unheard of prices for trade-ins, or we'll just buy your car outright at Brent Brown Toyota in Orem.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs. Just complete an application on your phone or computer, or stop by any branch.
Welcome back to North Orem, Utah. KSL Sports Rewind's presentation of high school football continues next Friday as the UHSAA playoffs get underway. Check the KSLSports.com website for the high school streaming guide for which game to watch on our network. That's next Friday, 6 o'clock on KSLSports.com, because you know there is no place to experience the playoffs like KSL Sports Rewind. Alexander Timolip, Alex Amrine here in North Orem, Utah. Big 3rd down coming up here for Timpanogos. Down by 8 late in the first half.
Looks like they're going to bring some pressure.
And they are bringing it. And it's Riggs up the middle. He did not get there. What a hit.
Quarterback kicker up the middle.
In the hole.
Brings up 4th down.
As it was Luke Daines who came up and drilled him. And now big time decision here for Austin Heaps. And they're going for it, Amrine.
Yeah, and that's tough right there. Chase Riggs, showed his toughness, dropping his shoulder down there. I don't believe that was the shoulder that he had injured, but, still, that's one of those things that just shows his mental toughness. He's not afraid to put himself on the line coming off of an injury just a few weeks ago.
Huge
4th down.
Huge 4th down. Big risk being taken here by Austin Heaps.
I'm honestly kind of surprised.
McCann goes in motion, and now they're not even going to get it off. And now it's 4th down, and now they'll have to kick it away.
False start on the T-Wolves. 5-yard penalty.
So something right there. I think the confusion on this drive all started right before we had that timeout taken by Coach Austin Heaps. What I saw was number 9, Josh Graff, wide receiver. It looks like he was trying to communicate something to quarterback Chase Riggs. Something about the coverage, something they could exploit. And so Chase Riggs looking to the sideline. The play clock was winding down in 4 seconds. And so Coach Heaps just called for the timeout right there.
Wow, and Reed Harris got into one as Hamilton has to make the fair catch and does.
Fair catch by
at
Hamilton.
The 34-yard line. What a kick there by Reed, the senior playing his last home game. 44-yard punt and no return. And now here comes the Stansbury offense, who has just absolutely been on fire the last couple of drives.
They've been great right now. You know, that's manna from heaven. The defense finally able to get a stop. You know, they're going to want to go out there and, you know, increase their lead, make this a 2-score game, not just an 8-point lead here. You know, I would expect them to go back to Hamilton. They saw, you know, how much success he brought, or just running back Brock Wilson. Those are two guys that we're going to need to keep an eye on this drive. You know, they might even give it to Brock Hamilton to kind of, you know, open up the play-action game. And remember, Stansbury gets the ball to start the second half. Play clock down to 5. Danes goes in motion. Harris looking, plenty of time. Got a man wide open! And that's Wilson down inside the 25.
There's his pass to beat out to Wilson.
Beat Yarachuk one-on-one on the sideline, and what a throw and catch. Good job right there. He had led his receiver a bit more. He's going all the way for pay dirt. Brock Wilson is just from another planet right now. What a first half he has had for the Stallions. Harris, play action throw. That's complete. Flag goes down. Hamilton's in the end zone for a touchdown. But given the fact the flag came from the umpire, it is coming back. We could have an illegal man downfield against the Stallions or a holding, and based on the fact it came from the umpire, it looks like they're going to call a holding, I think. Yeah, offense already moving back. Yep. Oh, well, my previous hunch was right. It is an eligible man down the field. It's kind of funny how you can always kind of suspect something. Like the offensive line looks a bit further downfield than you. Yeah, the RPO is always the one you have to run the risk of, because you cannot be more than 5 yards down the field in high school football and college football. That's the risk you run with those RPO plays. And now here's a handoff to Danes in the middle, and Danes goes absolutely nowhere. MJ Yosefo, my goodness.
Danes with the keeper.
You cannot do that. I know the fans don't like it, but that's the right call. I saw Yosefo kind of winding up the running back before he released him, and I was waiting for that flag to get thrown. That's something that we saw a lot just over the weekend in the NFL. You know, when we saw players like Patrick Mahomes, Derek Carr, Tom Brady get taken down, not super hard hits, but something that they're trying to be so much more aware of, I guess, even at a high school level, right? You know, they want that extracurricular activity to be cut down as much as possible, and that right there, clearly a foul on Yosefo. Yeah, that's not something that's going to make Austin Heaps very happy. I can tell you that for sure. One of his most experienced players, too. Yeah. A true leader on this defensive unit. Exactly. MJ Yosefo, one of the captains. You very rarely have ever seen him take a penalty like that, and a very stupid one at that, to say the least. Here is Wilson again up the middle. He gets outside. He's in for another touchdown.
Wilson for the carry. Touchdown, Stansbury.
Just walked right into the end zone off the highway. And wide receiver Daxton Nacken, he had a great block on the outside. He kind of just, not only a block, but a little bit of a screen. And that last Timberwolves lineman defense couldn't stop him from getting into the end zone. 35-21 as the Stansbury Stallions have now answered with 19 unanswered points after being down to start the second quarter. Good snap, good hold, and the kick is good from Luke Danes. And with 3:04 left in the first half, 36-21 in favor of Stansbury. Back after this.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone or computer and select the low-rate option you prefer.
And then sit back and enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a low-rate line of credit. Ready for whatever life throws at you.
To learn more or start your application, visit uccu.com or stop by any branch.
Alexander Timolip, Alex Amrine here at KSL Sports Rewind's coverage of Timpanogos football presented by Brent Brown Toyota Scion. 36-21 in favor of Stansbury, who have scored 19 consecutive points, and we are still in the first half. 57 total points scored here in the first half. We had 24 total scored in the first, 33 more here in the second quarter. Luke Danes is set to kick off, and it's a short kick. That'll be taken by McLeod at about the 10. And he gets over the 10, 15, 20, 25. And that's where he'll be brought down, and that's where the Timpanogos offense will go to work, and they need to answer right now.
Yeah, no, they got to make sure that they don't let this game get away from them, as we've seen in games past. You know, some of the games that they've lost, it's not like it's been, you know, just a nail-biter down to the very end. It seems like it's pretty close, and then kind of towards around this point in the game, the opposition can start to pull away. And right here with the Stallions, who are going to be getting the ball back out of halftime, you're going to want to make sure you get some points on the board right here.
Parker Harvey is the one who keeps returning the kickoffs. My apologies. Riggs in the gun. Hand off to Bretsing. And Bretsing's going to go nowhere. He got maybe a yard. He's going to lose a yard, in fact.
Easton Bretsing, carry up the middle. Loss of about 1. Brings up
2nd and 11. Very rare we have seen a loss of yardage on either side here this evening. 36-21 our score. Approaching 2.5 to go here in the first half. Riggs looking. Riggs throws up the sideline, and it is incomplete as Graf and the defender ran into each other on that far sideline, and Riggs took another big hit, and it's 3rd down again.
Yeah, that outside linebacker just came down, gave him a big blindside hit, so that ball wasn't as accurate as I'm sure Riggs would have hoped. But you know, quite the effort by Graf trying to extend and make that play. 3rd down, and then Stansbury, you know, they get a stop right here. They have another chance to score once more before halftime. Very dangerous.
Timpanogos has given up 40 points and a half once this year. That was against Payson, where they went down 42-0 at halftime. Or they went down 49-0 at halftime, but they gave up 35 in that first quarter alone. Blitz coming. Riggs throws. It is broken up. And what a play made there by Hamilton.
Riggs' pass is incomplete to Luke Livingston.
And Riggs took another big hit that time from Easton Baker. And we have another man down for the Timberwolves. It looks like one of their linemen is down.
Looks like he was grabbing his leg.
And we have another flag after the fact. And I suspect this could be a dead ball foul for mouthing off at the officials against Timpanogos.
Yeah, and that was Bretsing. It looks like he's being held back by some of his teammates and coaching staff right there. Perhaps mad that was a injury that happened after the play. Thankfully, it looks like this one's you know, a leg injury. No injury is good, but of course better than the one that we had earlier in the game.
Yeah, we had for anybody that missed it early in the game, we had Nash Price got taken off the field in an ambulance after getting put up in the air on an RPO play, and now this looks to be another serious injury. We'll step aside and we'll be back. KSL Sports Rewind's presentation of high school football continues. Alexander Timolip and Alex Amrine here at Timpanogos High School had an injury timeout. And while that was happening, Easton Bretsing got flagged for mouthing off at the officials. Frustration beginning to set in for the Timberwolves, who haven't scored in almost 10 minutes. In this game, that can feel like an eternity, given the fact that the Stallions have scored 20 straight since being down 21-16.
Yeah, with an opportunity to extend this lead even more before half. Reed's going to need to have one heck of a punt in order to give the defense a chance just to keep the Stallions out of scoring position for the half.
You have yet another flag.
Flag on the play.
Somebody flinched on the kicking team. Everything coming unraveled here for Timpanogos late in this first half.
False start. T-Wolves. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
2:18 to go here in the first half. 36-21 in favor of Stansbury. It's now 4th and a mile here from inside the 10. It's a high snap. Reed Harris punts it, and it's a beauty. And Hamilton makes the fair catch. And it'll be there at the 42-yard line. And again, Bretsing and Cole getting into it near the middle of the field. Frustration beginning to set in, and now we have a late flag. And I suspect this could be against Timpanogos again.
Yeah, it was a very late flag right there. Well, it looked like, you know, one of the gunners on the punt team just took down the guy who was blocking him. I didn't really see who the number was. But Bretsing once more has his helmet off right there. I don't know if you saw what was happening as Bretsing was mouthing off to official again, because I saw the flag come late from kind of away from where the play happened, where Bretsing was. I don't know if you can fill me in on that.
Well, Jamison Jones was the one that was walking away from the play, and it was Bracken Matthews who was engaged with him downfield. And in fact, it's going to be against Bracken Matthews
on the Stallions
for unnecessary roughness.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of a shove after the fact. I think the refs missed what kind of initiated that shove, but yeah, sometimes when it comes to that extracurricular activity, as we talked about, it just comes down to what the ref actually ends up seeing first.
It's always the second guy that gets flagged. We always say that. It's always the second person that gets flagged, and so it'll back it up.
It'll be a 15-yard penalty
inside the 30,
spot.
which is
Stansbury first down and 10.
Which is really
their own
of little consequence at this point, given the fact that Stansbury's offense is like a rolling locomotive.
I was about to say, it's like, oh, well, it's just more stats to pad, right?
Yes, just delaying the inevitable, really. Anyway, Harris drops the pass, looking, throws, he's got Wilson, and he's got him again. Inside the 40, down to the 39-yard line. Tage Lidster is being toyed with back and forth on both sides of the ball.
And Wilson right there, who was wide open on the right side, you know, good job right there. But actually on the left side, Daxton Atkin was wide open, I think even more so than Wilson was. That would have been an easy touchdown.
Harris now hands to Wilson, and Wilson with a stiff arm, and he's still on his feet, and he finally trips himself up at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, you know, he's disappointed himself with that one right there. He had a lot of green grass in front of him right there. He started to stumble off that initial contact, thought he picked himself up, but eventually just lost his balance.
Now empty set here for Ezra Harris. Brock Wilson has been a machine here tonight. 5 total touchdowns. Harris able to get out of the pocket after dropping the snap, and he's able to get the first down and then some to the 20.
Harris with the
and that'll move the sticks.
Gain of about 8.
Talk about ideal situations.
Brings up
just under a minute 30 left in the first half. You're up by 15. You have the ball at the 20-yard line.
In the red zone again for Ezra Harris and the Stallions, where they've been a lot here in this first half. Timpanogos has not crossed midfield in almost 10 minutes. Wilson again. Wilson again on the outside. Wilson still running, and down he goes inside the 15 to the 10. Boy, I mean, they could run Brock Wilson into the ground till midnight. They still can't get him down.
Yeah.
Second down and 3.
Is where the offense is going to have to pick up a little bit if they're going to continue to run the ball as much as they have been.
Fly sweep right side. Hamilton, nowhere to go. Brighton Tate says, oh, no, you don't.
Gets tackled in the backfield.
And a timeout is immediately signaled for and granted by Stansbury with 38 seconds left here in the first half.
Now, I was, you know, kind of intrigued by the option to run the ball right there. You know, because the risk you're with that is, you know, the clock's always going to run unless it runs out of bound, right? Or unless a timeout's called. With an incomplete pass, you know, you can pick up more yards in a quicker amount of time. And as well, if it's incomplete, that's like a, you know, a timeout, right? Just with the loss of a down.
38.1 seconds officially here on the clock, but we're going to say it's 38 seconds, and now that's 3rd and 7. A spot really where Stansbury has not been for most of the night here so far. Or really both teams have been for most of the night.
Yeah, you know, and I think that, you know, kind of a prediction I had before this game is that it was going to start off pretty close, and I was kind of surprised that it was as close as it was for a while. Stansbury's starting to pull away. Of course, halftime adjustments, there's going to be a lot of things that the Timberwolves defense as well as their offense has kind of stalled out a little bit. So you want to figure out. I think the big thing for the Timberwolves offense that they're going to clean up is protecting Chase Riggs. I think that he's not able to get the ball out as cleanly as he would have been able to, as he's feeling the pressure and also getting hit as he's throwing the ball.
Big third down here, 3rd and 7, out of the timeout. Harris, blitz coming. He throws for Wilson. He's got him for the touchdown. How many ways can you score, Brock Wilson?
Stansbury.
Into the end zone again. And the Stallions really have this thing rolling now.
Brock Wilson, just time and time again, he's been, you know, really done everything. He's a safety valve. He's their big explosive player. He's their reliable target in the red zone as they go to him once more to extend this lead now to 22 points.
Which it is now with the Danes extra point with 31 seconds left.
With 33 seconds left
in the first half.
Stansbury 43.
Back after this.
T-Wolves 21.
On KSLSports.com.
Other universities didn't fit into my life.
They said I'd have to quit my job to go to school.
They said it would take me 4 years to graduate. They said I have to take tests when they tell me to.
They said my degree would cost a fortune.
But I didn't have to listen to them.
Because I have a university that listens to me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the University of You.
Well, since being behind 21-16, the Stansbury Stallions have put up 27 consecutive points. Alexander Timberlake, Alexandrine, with Stansbury leading 43-21, with just over 30 seconds left here in the first half. Danes will pooch it. It goes right to an up man. And that will put the Timpanogos Timberwolves in great field position here with about 30 seconds left.
I was waiting for that ball to go in the air, and all of a sudden I just saw it 7 feet away from where they kicked it off. And so, I mean, that's pretty good field position right here. You could try to get some points on the board. You know, we know what a great kicker Timberwolves has. So try to get some points in.
How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet Livingston's getting the ball here on this play?
I'm willing to bet quite a bit. If I were a betting man, that is.
You weren't spending too much time in Vegas this weekend, were you?
No, I wasn't. I didn't make the trip down for the Notre Dame game.
I was about to say, you've probably been spending too much time at the craps tables, if that's the truth. 1st and 10 now from the 49. Big drive here. Riggs with protection, looking his way. Livingston's out there, and it's just out of his reach, incomplete. Hamilton was in coverage there in a cover 2 zone.
Second down.
And that just missed his fingers by about a half a fingernail right there.
Yeah, slant and go right there. I think that probably what they were going to try to do is probably just get in between that cover 2 zone right there. You know, as a wide receiver, you can kind of read it right there and kind of decide when you want to make that cut up. Just read, you know, where the safeties are at. And Chase Riggs just missed that throw by a little bit. Could have been a very impressive catch and gain.
Riggs throws quickly, and Hadley didn't turn around. Yeah, that was pretty good coverage right there. And again, it's 3rd down. And
brings up 3rd down.
I'm right. I hasten to say, like, maybe you have two plays to get 10 yards here if you're Timpanogos up down by 22.
Yeah, right here. I mean, it's tough. I think that's one of those things you want to play for the sideline, try to get to the sideline, save as much time as you can, right? Because, you know, at this level, you know, despite the leg that Reed has, you're going to want to make sure you still get in position where you can have a pretty good shot at a field goal.
Blitz coming on 3rd down, and Livingston is out there! He's cannot hang on! Hamilton knocked it out of his hands just as he hit the turf!
Brings up 4th down.
Yeah, and we all thought that Luke Livingston, as we've seen time and time again throughout this season, he brings in those one-on-one balls right there, and that one, as he went to the ground, we saw the crowd cheer, and then we saw the ball flying through the air in the crowd side.
The most horrid feeling on the Timpanogos sideline is Eric Alder will take a timeout. You saw Luke Livingston, bottom of your screen there, clap his hands together. He knew he had Hamilton beat one-on-one in coverage. Just couldn't make the play.
And so this is kind of interesting right here because you can try to take a shot, try and maybe score on this play, right? You know, it'd take a lot, but, you know, we've seen crazier things happen, especially when you have a guy like Luke Livingston on your team, right? And at the same time, you know, you can still try to get in field goal range right here and take a quick timeout. On the other side of the ball, if this is incomplete, you regret not punting it because then Stansbury, you know, they'll have probably about, let's say, 12 seconds. And the way that Brock Wilson's been moving and, you know, or Wilson and Hamilton have been going at it tonight, you know, who knows? Maybe they could get some more points on the board before halftime.
So in case anybody's wondering, this is not a typo. It really is 43-21 in the first half, folks. We are still not done with the first half yet, so don't be fooled by the scoreboard. So 4th and 10 at the 49. They need to get to the 41 of Stansbury. Livingston lines up bottom of the screen. Riggs, sprint out to his right. Baker in pursuit. Throws up the sideline. He's got Bretzing. And a first down at the 31-yard line with 9 seconds to go. And quickly, Heaps calls a timeout.
31. Good enough for a T-Wolf.
But there is a flag down, and it looks like there's going to be a roughing the passer on Easton. Baker added onto this. And that puts the T-Wolves in very much scoring position here.
Yeah, right there. That's a huge call. It totally changes how Austin Heath is going to manage this first down right here with 9.2 seconds left in the first half. Because now, I mean, if I'm right here, down 22 points, you know, you're thinking touchdown. You're not thinking for settling for 3.
1st and 10 from the Stansbury 15.
And a timeout is called by Timpanogos.
T-Wolves.
As Austin Heaps is thinking the same thing you are, and they are going to do their best here to draw up a play to at least get them close to the end zone here. But I should say that you are within reasonable field goal range now for Reed Harris with the ball
Again,
with the ball in the 16-yard line.
Yeah, so I can see them taking one shot right here and then just putting the ball in Reed's hands or feet rather. But I'd expect something right here, something similar to the last play we saw, or a bit of a play action.
Head
Just
on down there before they're gone.
Luke Livingston. I would not be surprised to see him double covered. And if that is the case, look out for number 9, Josh Graff, because he's been kind of an underrated wide receiver, especially in this red zone territory when Luke Livingston is doubled up.
And think about how big this would be. I mean, Stansbury gets the ball to start the second half, but even if the Wolves put 3 on the board here at the end of the first half, that shows you that they're still very much in this game.
Yeah, no, very much so.
And as we honor those seniors on cheer.
I'm excited to see what they've drawn up right here after that timeout and huddle.
Triple wide receiver lines up to the left. Livingston lines up one-on-one coverage. You see Baker lined up with him, and now they have Hamilton out there, double coverage. Now here's Riggs, dropping back, looking, throws for Livingston in the end zone! Did he make the catch? Yes, he did! Touchdown!
Touchdown!
Toe drag swag all the way! And the Wolves do answer back! Roll the highlight film, Dusty Leinster. You've got a top 5 coming your way.
By Livingston there.
Did someone say San Antonio Holmes? Because that's what that was reminiscent of. Just got on his tippy toes right there, just got the ball. Great touch on that pass right there from Chase Riggs. The defense couldn't do anything right there. Just hope and pray that, if anything, Luke Livingston's feet were out of bounds or he wouldn't hold on as he went to the ground.
Third receiving touchdown of the night for Livingston. Total touchdown number 31. In 2022, as the Wolves are still a man short here on the kicking team, and now they're going to have to take a timeout. They were so busy celebrating the touchdown, they forgot to put 10, 11 guys out there.
Timeout, T-Wolves.
Yeah, and that's got to be frustrating, right? You got on this high, and then you have to, at the end of the day, just use the timeout, right? It's the last one you got for the half.
Amrine, I got a message from Spencer Livingston, of course, who is Luke's dad. Shout out to him earlier tonight. He's seen varsity time at football, baseball, and basketball as a freshman, of all things. And he started all 3 of those sports as a sophomore last year. I mean, you talk about a dark horse candidate for Deseret News Mr. Football. You're seeing it right now.
Yeah, no, it's crazy just what an athlete this guy is. We've seen him do so much, and for those of us, or those of you out there who didn't see, the first half of this season for the Timberwolves team, he was also playing quarterback as well. So,
yes, he was.
Not only is he a jack of all trades in all sports, but he can do it all out here on the football field.
Yeah, he scored 3 touchdowns in 3 different ways twice this year. Once against Hurricane, he did a rushing, passing, and receiving, and then against Hillcrest, he had a rushing, receiving, and a punt return touchdown. Reed Harris' extra point is good.
Harris's PAT is good.
With 3 seconds left in the first half, Amrine. Finally, the T-Wolves are in the end zone again. And just like we said, guess what? This game's still on.
Yeah, it's still on. And Stansbury, they're going to want to come out just, punching and kicking out of halftime. But a 15-point game, they're feeling a little less comfortable as they were just a minute ago.
What a first half. I mean, it's had everything, Amrine. It's had a bit of controversy. It's had a bit of physicality. It has had an offensive explosion that we expected. I mean, but I'll be honest with you, Amrine. I figured we were in for not only a shootout, but also a close game. Mm-hmm. We've got it.
And one thing that I'm going to expect for in the second half is there's going to be a turnover at some point or another, because we haven't seen one yet. And I think that's going to play a huge role in how this game sways. If on the Timberwolves side, I expect Stansbury to capitalize on that, and vice versa.
Reed Harris set to kick off. Stansbury. Oh, by the way, Timpanogos, that was their first touchdown they've scored since early in this first quarter, or first half. They last scored with 10 minutes left. They now score with 3 seconds left, as Harris will just pooch it into the direction of Wilson. He'll take it on the run. And Wilson will get out to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. He might go! Brock Wilson is going to run out of room at the 40-yard line. Well,
Tackled out of bounds.
Theme of the night. That's how it should end in the first half, the way it has.
A big sigh of relief right there for the Timberwolves. And also, just one thing I thought, how much you want to bet the Stallions regret kicking that little squib kick, because that resulted in a touchdown right there. I think if they kicked it deep, I think they would have been in a lot more comfortable position right now going into halftime.
So we end the first half, folks. Yes, this is the end of the first half. 43-28, 71 total points in the first half. And Alex Amrine, all I can say is, wow, what a first half.
Yeah, very exciting game. You know, it's always an exciting game when you see this many points on the board. I'm expecting, more of the same in the second half. It's going to be really interesting to see how, we even saw it a little bit out there, how well they were able to protect Chase Riggs. Of course, they were able to, get a little something good out of not being able to protect Chase Riggs super well with that roughing the passer call. That put them in great scoring position, and Luke Livingston was able to get the job done before halftime. Go ahead. He certainly was, and to your point, Amrine, we're in for a really good second half. Stansbury will get the ball to start the second half, but folks, this game is still much to be decided yet. Interested to see what the second half adjustments are going to be. Looking forward to a second half of good football out here.
Our highest scoring first half this season on KSL Sports Rewind comes to a close. Welcome back, everyone. KSL Sports Rewind's presentation of high school football continues. Timpanogos football, KSL Sports Rewind, presented by Brett Brown Toyota Scion. Alexander Timberlip, Alex Amrine here at Timpanogos High School on this chilly Wednesday night here in North Orem, Utah. 43-28 our score, and we're just starting the second half between Stansbury and Timpanogos. So Amrine, I don't know about you, but I think we better settle back on in because this thing is far from done.
Yeah, buckle up. Get ready for another roller coaster football. The first half it far exceeded my expectations for both these teams. Both teams played much better than I thought. I thought this was going to be, I was thinking maybe 21-7 halftime with Stansbury leading. 43-28, still Stansbury leading, but much higher scoring than I expected. As the players get warmed up out here, I think that they're going to want to just go high tempo once again. I think something's going to be interesting. Something I want to check after the game is just time of possession at the end of the game, because both offenses, are having a hard time scoring. So I think who can ever control the clock is going to end up on top.
So Amrine, let's talk about that for a second. In relation to what will win both these teams the game is that the fact that there have been no turnovers so far in this game. And you told me before halftime, in case anybody missed it, that one turnover by either side could very well determine the outcome of who wins this game in the second half.
Yeah, I think that we're at that point in the game, right? Especially with the Timberwolves scoring a touchdown right before half, thanks to the heroics of Luke Livingston from quarterback Chase Riggs, right? Luke Livingston doing it once again. No surprise there, right? But here's the thing. Once the turnover comes, I think that we're at like this weird stalemate right now, where the score doesn't indicate how closely this game is mentally. I think if the Timberwolves are able to force a turnover defensively, the momentum's totally going to shift them. If Stansbury is able to force a turnover, then it's totally going to shift their way as well, and they're going to be able to extend this lead, and it might get out of hand. So I think it could come down to who gets the first turnover.
All of our drives except two ended in scoring plays. At one point, Stansbury put up 27 unanswered points, but a squib kick that went awry allowed the Timberwolves to march down the field, aided by a roughing the passer penalty against Easton Baker. Put the Timberwolves in position to cut the lead to 15, but it is the Stallions who will get the ball to begin half number 2. It has been the battle of Brock Wilson and Luke Livingston here tonight, as has been advertised throughout the week. We hope you're ready, folks. The final 24 minutes of the regular season are upon us. And off we go here in the second half. Reed Harris's kick will be returnable for Wilson at the 2. And he is going to be wrapped up at the 15. Ball comes out!
Turns the ball out to about the 15-yard line.
Somebody jumped on the bottom of the pile for it. I think the Timberwolves, for a moment, signaled they had it, but it is the Stallions, who have recovered.
Yeah, it looked like from the lack of energy from the rest, it looks like it was just going to remain the Stallions' ball right there. And, when you said Wilson getting wrapped up, that's a phrase that we haven't heard very many times tonight. It's taken quite a few guys to finally bring him down to the ground, if at all, if he doesn't just take off to the races.
Daxton Nacken was the one who recovered the fumble for the Stansbury Stallions. 1st and 10 now from the 15. Here's a handoff to Wilson, and he goes nowhere. Another great tackle there in the backfield on the play by Dallin Bowman, the nose guard.
Yeah, how about that by Bowman? Sometimes it's hard, to get around the center of the guard right there and then take him down. And we know how good Wilson's been tonight. That's back-to-back times he's been wrapped up.
Wilson again will get the handoff. This time he gets chopped down after
Wilson
6.
Carry up the middle for a gain of 5.
And this will bring up a big 3rd down here.
3rd down.
Cannot tell you how big this 3rd down is here for the Timberwolves defensively.
Tried the hard count right there.
Just underway here in the second half. 43-28 in favor of Stansbury. It's Wilson getting the fake throw. That's complete. Penalty flag goes down again. It's coming back as Hamilton gets to the 40. He'll be brought down at the 40-yard line, but there's a flag down in the vicinity of the offensive line. And I assume the signal that my partner's giving me that we have yet another ineligible man down the field penalty.
Yeah, it looks like the center umpire gave that signal to one of the other refs to signal what the flag was for. And it did look like, once again, this isn't the first time tonight we had an illegal receiver downfield.
Yeah, second time we'll see an eligible man downfield called against Stansbury. And again, that's the risk you run when you run those RPO plays. You always get the risk of a lineman wandering outside the tackle box.
And they've been so effective, And right there, that was a great 3rd down conversion. But sometimes it comes down to disciplining these offensive linemen to stay in the box.
Harris keeps it on 3rd down. He gets free. Ezra Harris breaking tackles into the secondary. Can anyone catch him? Yes! Out of bounds. Bretzing finally gets him down at the 30-yard line. Ezra Harris, when it gets most thick,
brings it out to the T-Wolf.
Cuts right through for another big 1st down.
That was like a knife through hot butter, just right up the middle right there. I definitely wasn't expecting them to run a QB option, let alone a QB option that would be able to not just result in a 4th down conversion, or a 3rd down conversion, but a long gain into Timberwolves territory.
10:44 and rolling. Harris looks, throws, or he's going to pull it down now, and he's going to be brought down from behind.
Keeps it up the middle.
Close to the 1st down marker.
For a gain of 10.
And that's going to be enough for a 1st down to move the sticks. A huge 3rd down conversion to start this second half on 3rd and 9 by Ezra Harris. Just put the Stallions right back in the red zone or close to it. Here's Wilson breaking tackles. Brock Wilson still on his feet, trying to cut to the outside, and he finally gets wrapped up after a gain of 8 at about the 14-yard line, brought down there by Tate and Hunter.
Something that's impressed me about Wilson, especially on that play, despite the fact that it was just a short gain, his ability to run laterally. I mean, that just, it totally opened up the things that you're able to do. And, he had to evade about 4 guys right there, but if there's one less guy, I think that he might have been able to pick up a 1st down.
May have to check the record books. He might be approaching record territory as Harris takes it up the middle. Trying to rip the ball out. Penalty flag goes down again.
Game about 6.
And again it comes from the umpire, and again it is holding.
Flag on the play.
That's about the 3rd or 4th time that the Stansbury offensive line has been called for any sort of a penalty here in the last few plays.
Yeah, no, I bet the offensive line unit's probably getting a bit down on themselves as, obviously they're down. Well, they just got pushed out of the red zone, but time and time again, they've cost this offense a good chunk of yardage that they have to get back on the following play. But when you got guys like Wilson back there, I don't think you have to worry too much at the end of the day.
The desert moon rising over the Wasatch Front here on this beautiful Wednesday night, a chilly Wednesday. They split 5 wide, 4 into the pattern and an H-back. Harris to pass. Harris throws, complete. Hamilton and Parsons gets him down inside the 5.
Pass complete to Hamilton.
Robbie Parsons got him down, but not before another 1st down.
Brings up 1st and goal.
Bet you we see Brock Wilson again here on 1st and goal.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for it. It's not even a question anymore.
Flag goes down. Wilson doesn't get in.
Wilson with the carry up the middle.
And it looks like the penalty is in the area of an illegal formation. It happened right at the snap. And the offense is backing up. It's a shift penalty against the Stallions.
Against Stansbury. 5-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
Another pre-snap penalty, another penalty. That's the third one we've seen on this drive.
Yeah, I know. You know, compared to the other games we've called in the first half, there weren't that many penalties all in all. I mean, we saw a few here and there, certainly, but, you know, this drive, a lot.
Wilson plugged. MJ Yosefo writes him down from behind. No gain on that one, second down.
Yeah, MJ Yosefo right there came back from the line, came down from the linebacker position, and then he was able to just squeeze his way through the nose tackle on the defensive end, was able to bring down Wilson in the backfield.
Second down and goal now at the 10. Wilson goes in motion. Harris looking right, throws into the end zone, wide open, touchdown!
Harrison's pass complete to Hamilton.
Dylan Hamilton all by himself in the end zone. And the Stallions strike right back to begin the second half.
Yeah, right there. Just a missed assignment on the side of the Timberwolves. That was number 12, Aiden Vongaswad, who is in coverage right there. It looks like he should have played up a bit more. He threw his hands up onto his helmet, indicating that it probably was his responsibility that he missed.
Luke Daines, line drive, puts through the extra point, and Stansbury's laid a 50.
50 burger.
On the Timberwolves here this evening. 50-28. Stansbury leads, just underway here in the second half.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone or computer and select the low-rate option you prefer.
And then sit back and enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a low-rate line of credit. Ready for whatever life throws at you.
To learn more or start your application, visit uccu.com or stop by any branch.
Big answer there from the Stansbury Stallions, the Region 7 champs. Showing their muscle right there. 8:48 to go here in the first part of the second half. Third quarter underway, 50-28 in favor of Timpanogos, or favor of Stansbury, excuse me. This is the first time that Timpanogos has allowed 50 all year long. They've done so in a high-scoring shootout here in this one as Daines hits a line drive into the corner. Here's Hunter from the 4. Hunter 10-15-20, and he gets hogtied right at the 21-yard line.
Tyler Hunter with the return out to the 22-yard line.
So now it's Chase Riggs' turn to respond here in kind.
Yeah, and we still have plenty of time on the clock, you know, right now. Still got just under 9 minutes left in the third and got the full fourth quarter ahead of us. But, you know, there is, you know, a bit of a tendency that, okay, we got to kind of, you know, get this game going. When you're down behind 3 scores, as I said, you know, controlling the clock is important. But when you're down 3 scores, then that mentality kind of goes away. You start to shift to, okay, we just need to get points on the board. The mindset of the team, the coaching at least, shifts to, okay, what do we need to focus on defensively? Because that's really where we're struggling.
And you can only play catch-up for so long as Timpanogos has for most of this game. As Riggs on 1st and 10, throws, he's got Graff! Out to midfield, first down! That's how you start a drive. 39 yards on 29 on that one, and here come the Wolves right back to the line.
Yeah, they were just caught sleeping in the secondary right there. It didn't look like anyone was really expecting Graff to go over the middle.
Quickly back they come to the line. Riggs throws again, and this time we have a flag as we have an ineligible man down the field.
Flag on the play.
Against Timpanogos as one of the linemen wandered out of the tackle box.
You know, they're starting to look like that classic, just super casual throw of the flag as we saw so many times. I can't remember what game that was. We saw time and time again that I think it was Cedar Valley,
It must have been the Cedar Valley game earlier this year where we saw just like nonchalant, just like, all right, that's a flag, we're throwing it now.
And so many of them were ineligible receivers downfield because both teams were running so many RPOs.
Seen quite a few of them run here in this second half so far. Bretzing up the middle. Bretzing gets the penalty yards back plus a few more. He gets to the 49 to the 48-yard line. Pickup of about 9.
Second down and 6.
Yeah, Bretzing, he's really just gone like full, just like Superman mode at the end of those plays. When he knows he's going down, he just, you know, puts his body in the line, lays out there to get an extra yard.
And they're going to give it to him again on 2nd and 8. And this time he gets about a yard, if anything.
Bretzing with the carry again.
Like a third and a long 7 here for Timpanogos.
3rd and 7.
Probably pretty much in no man's land here if you got 2 plays to get 7 yards.
And something that we haven't seen as much, I've seen that maybe twice, is where they line up in that 4-person package, like 4-3 personnel for that screen that they love to run.
Riggs on third down, and he's going to hand it to Bretzing on the sweep. So that's pretty much the play to get them in position for a fourth down, and they will get. And now they'll get the play in for 4th and 6 here to make it a little bit more manageable.
Yeah, going no huddle, you have to keep that tempo and that pace.
Triple wide receiver lines up to the left. A big 4th down. Livingston over the middle, and it's incomplete. 2 receivers were in the same area.
Pass was incomplete, intended for Graf.
Riggs threw it into the area of both Graf and Livingston. And a turnover on downs after such a promising start to the drive there for the Wolves.
Yeah, that one's a shame because right there, I really think that ball was intended for Josh Graf as that, kind of flew over the head of Luke Livingston. Luke Livingston was expecting that ball to come to him. That's the risk you run when you run those ins and those dig routes kind of crossing over each other because both receivers can, if the ball's, kind of right in between them, they can both expect it and it can cause a tip drill to happen as it did right there. And that led to a turnover on downs. And Stansbury right now, they're licking their chops wanting to, increase this lead to 4 scores.
It would be the most points that Timpanogos has given up all season long. Brock Wilson has 7 total touchdowns in this game.
Ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous. Here he is again, ridden down from behind by Brighton Tate to the 49-yard line, pickup of 6.
Gain of about 6. Second down and 4 from the 2.
And with these runs, like I said, the time management game kind of goes away. Get a flag right there.
Flag on the play.
12 people on the field.
Yep, it is going to be a 12 men on the field, illegal substitution.
Yeah, cornerback Randy Patterson, who plays both ways. The sophomore is running off the field before they got the snap off. A little bit of a Aaron Rodgers play right there, able to get the play off before everyone was set.
Here's a handoff, rather a keeper by Harris. Harris gets over the 40 to about the 37-yard line pickup. I'll call it about maybe 7.
And Harris has done a good job being a dynamic quarterback, having consistent passes through the air, but when he runs, he's able to stay so low, kind of stay hidden behind his offensive lineman and keep the defense guessing as that one falls incomplete.
Yeah, that was intended there for Hamilton, one of the rare incompletions tonight, and a big third down here for the Timberwolf D.
And Hamilton, he had a bit of a hot streak at the kind of the middle towards the end of the second quarter. Haven't seen him in much action so far in this half. Expect him to get involved soon.
Here's Wilson again, and he is going to be short by about a half a yard. Bring a 4th down. I mean, you have Brock Wilson in the backfield. You go for it.
Oh, yeah. No way.
It's not even a question
He's
here at this
averaging
point.
4 or 5 yards per carry at the very least. So
it's not even a question at this point. Big stop coming up here. They can get it. Closing 6 to go here in the third quarter. Wilson gets the handoff. He's got the first down, and he's got more. Brock Wilson is history. Touchdown, Stansbury.
35 yards for a touchdown.
And that's a knife to the heart. I can see it on some of just the body language of this Timpanogos Timberwolves sideline right there. Kind of some heads went down as they thought. I mean, I thought, too, that they had Wilson wrapped up just after the first down markers, but he broke away right there, must have broken a tackle outside of our view and took it the distance.
8 total touchdowns for Brock Wilson. I mean, I've got to have to pull up the UHSA record book. We might be approaching a single-game record here for total touchdowns in a game as Danes knocks through the extra point. And that makes it 57-28. Stansbury now in control late in the third quarter. We'll be back after this.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone or computer and select the low-rate option you prefer.
And then sit back and enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a low-rate line of credit. Ready for whatever life throws at you.
To learn more or start your application, visit uccu.com or stop by any branch.
Well, how many ways can you score, Brock Wilson? We're looking up the record books right now as the Stansbury Stallions have built a 29-point lead late here in the third quarter of what was once a 5-point Timpanogos lead. Since then, it's been all Stansbury, 41-7. As Danes kicks off, And it will be returnable here for Parker Harvey. And Harvey gets tripped up out to the 20-yard line.
Well, this Timberwolves defensive unit, they're going to need some Advil pretty soon because they have a really bad headache named Brock Wilson on the side. They just cannot seem to stop him. He's done so much just through the air, on the ground, time and time again. 8 total touchdowns. And, folks, you heard me and Alex here right. 8 total touchdowns as the Stansbury Stallions lead the Timpanogos Timberwolves 57-28. Once again, the most points allowed by the Timberwolves side so far this season.
What a performance by that young man, Brock Wilson. I mean, it's been almost astounding, really. 4 receiving touchdowns. That's already in the UHSAA record books as it is, but he has 4 rushing touchdowns. That's also in the record books, as we're going to get a delay of game penalty here against the Timberwolves, and that's pretty much how it's gone since the second quarter.
Play game, T-Wolves. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Yeah, and that one right there, I think Chase Briggs was trying to make some adjustments as he felt the pressure coming. Called in Bretsing, who's playing slot to his right side, brought him into the backfield to give him some extra time as he was going to feel that pressure in his pocket.
Riggs drops the pass, throws. That's complete, sitting in the zone. That's Livingston. He gets taken down after about a 5-yard pickup. And so if you're Timpanogos, I mean, it's just all about damage control right now, down by 29.
5 yards.
I'm at 29. We're almost in mercy rule time territory.
We almost are. That's right. Throw up the sideline. That's broken up. What a play there, and a great coverage.
That was great coverage.
Great coverage on Caleb Hadley right there, and no chance for that pass to be completed.
Brings up 3rd down.
And now it's 3rd down and long again.
A lot of groans from the Timberwolves fan, but that was some astounding cornerback play right there. That was perfect play by Bracken Matthews, who just played hip to hip and got that hand up to smack it away from the receiver.
Yeah, I looked back for the ball, so that's why there was no flag. Here's Riggs on 3rd down, and the pass is batted and incomplete.
Riggs' pass is
there we go.
Well, whoever said they play finesse football, they don't watch the Stansbury Stallions play. My goodness. What a play made there. Jumping up to bat the pass down was Toby Johnson along with Baker, who got in the backfield, and it's another punt for the Wolves.
You know, and a comment that I made when the Timberwolves played Hillcrest a few weeks ago was how frustrating it was for their quarterback because he couldn't get the ball out. Chase Riggs feeling a bit of that action right there.
Right. Punt travels across midfield. Amrine will finish his thought here in just a second as it dies right at the 44-yard line. Continue your thought.
No, yeah, and all I was going to say is, you know, we talked about the necessity to protect the quarterback right there. So far, Chase Riggs, you know, hasn't gotten, you know, banged around as much, but, you know, feeling that pressure, I think, especially when games start to get out of hand, you know, you're going to want to be, you know, a bit faster at scoring, and with that comes less protection for your quarterback, so you're going to start playing more wide set packages, more of that West Coast offense. And, you know, with that comes empty backfields and less time for your quarterback.
So out comes Ezra Harris in the offense again. By the way, the UHSAA record for total touchdowns in a game is 10.
Oh, yeah.
Or 11, rather. Tied.
This is possible.
It is definitely possible right now as Harris is running for his life, and he is going to have to go down, and he does in a heat.
Scrambles around the backfield.
That's got to be
behind the line of scrimmage.
First negative play I think we've seen all night.
Yeah, at least for the Stallion side. I was wondering, since
loss of 9,
you know, that
he
never passed the line of scrimmage, if he was going to try to throw that ball away, since technically could have been just a legal forward pass, but kept it himself, tried to make something happen, and a loss of about 9.
Back to the touchdowns responsible for record. Dane Letuala and Crew Walkley are the ones who are responsible for the 2 record touchdowns. There's a fumble, and it's recovered by Timpanogos.
Turnover to the T-Wolves.
Well, finally something goes the way
recovered by
of the
Tyson
Wolves.
Miller.
Tyson Miller recovers.
Oh, check that. Cody Hawks.
Yeah, Cody Hawks actually the one recovered it. Tyson Miller's out with an injury. Saw him in a wheelchair coming out before the game, but no real celebration for the Timberwolves. I mean, I think they're just happy to get off the field.
Yeah, they're all business. You know, their offense is grateful that their defense was able to give them something. You know, down by
a little hot chocolate.
By 29 now, they really got to get some points on the board. And, you know, we know that Stansbury side, that was the first turnover of the night, but the way that this game is going, it would take a miracle for that turnover to really mean something in the end, to turn the tide of this game.
Riggs in trouble. Pressure, fires, caught. Bretzing, touchdown!
Chase Riggs' pass to Easton Bretzing.
One play into the end zone, and the Timberwolves are not done quite just yet. Bretzing's third touchdown of the night. 2 receiving and 1 rushing.
Yeah, Bretzing's got to be pretty happy, not only with the fact that it's his third rushing touchdown, but we've seen him. He's played with so much fire and emotion tonight. Even got a flag pulled on him for having some words with the ref after a call that he wasn't too happy of, or happy with, rather. So right there, pulling the game just a little bit closer.
That snap got it down, though, and the extra point is good. So with 4:23 to go here in the third quarter, 57-35. Timpanogos still alive, but we'll be back after this message from the Salt Lake Running Company.
For over 25 years, Salt Lake Running Company has helped people of all ages and levels find the gear they need to start their fitness journey. From a free custom shoe fit analysis to a premium assortment of footwear and workout essentials, SLRC is a top 10 run shop in America. Locally owned, locally operated at 5 locations along the Wasatch Front, SLRC is there to help you gear up and get out. Visit a store near you or shop online at slrc.com.
Alexander Timop, Alex Amrine here for KSL Sports Rewind's presentation of Timpanogos football, presented by Brent Brown Toyota Scion. 57-35, Stansbury leads Timpanogos. Still a quarter and a third left to go on this Timpanogos High Senior Night. Kickoff by Harris will go through the end zone for a touchback. And these Stallions will start at the 20-yard line.
And, you know, the last 3 plays that we saw were the best 3 plays possible, I think, for the Timberwolves. You had a sack for a loss of 9 yards, then you had a fumble recovery by the defense, and then finally just a touchdown on their first play with the ball in the offense's hands. Pass from Chase Riggs to running back Easton Bretzing, who's lined up in the slot right there. You know, making the score now 57-13. So still down by 22 now. Still have plenty of work to do with 3 scores. But you still have a little over 16 minutes, all your timeouts, so still plenty to work with.
Here is Wilson up the middle. Not if he has anything to say about it. He gets clobbered out about the 27-yard line. Again, the single-game record for touchdowns in a game is 11, which has been tied twice. Total touchdowns responsible for, by the way.
And so despite the fact that we're still in the third quarter, I know that the Stallions are thinking of chewing up as much time as they can each and every time they get the ball.
And they absolutely do not want the ball in this Timberwolves offense's hands as Harris breaks free into the secondary. 1 man to beat. Harris finally caught from behind as Lister clocked him at about the 21-yard line. He was the last line of defense. And Lister might have rung his own bell more than he must have rung Ezra Harris's bell because he's slow getting up.
Well, Ezra Harris, he's a big guy to take down, and so Lister, you know, tried to just drop his shoulder, and I think that ended up doing more damage to him than it did the Stallions quarterback. He's a little slow to get up. And hard to tell right now if it was kind of just maybe got the wind knocked out of him right there. He's sitting upright. That's what we're happy to see.
Now, hopefully Lister is okay.
Oh, there he goes. He's up on his feet.
Yep. Got his bell rung more than anything. That's a good sign to see him get up under his own power.
Did absolutely everything he could on that play.
And his defensive backs coach is smirking at him right now. I mean, they're going to give him grief in the film room on Monday when he sees that.
Yeah.
You know it's always good when the D-backs coach, even in a 22-point game, comes out looking at you like, what, come on, man.
Well, especially, too, you know, there's always going to be some jokes about, hey, remember the time you tried to take down the quarterback and you ended up getting rung?
At least he didn't get a concussion. That's a good thing.
At least he didn't, no concussion and no touchdown lit up.
Well, Brock Wilson,
right there.
As the ball comes out, ball comes out, and the Timberwolves have it. Well, we've been singing the praises of Brock Wilson, and now the Timberwolves get yet another takeaway, and now they are in position to do some damage.
Do I smell a 28-3 brewing? A little bit of a comeback.
If Tyler Gibbs watching right now back home, he needs to turn the channel right now. What Well, it all starts with one, right? You know, you got to get one. You got to get
First
one.
and 10 T-Wolves from their own 5-yard line.
Second turnover of the quarter. But if there's any consolation, the Wolves have to go 95 yards to get in the end zone. It's really a matter of fact at this point, as Bretson gets met at the line of scrimmage.
I think he lost a few on that play right there.
Yeah, he might have lost a couple of yards on that play. What a play up front by that line. Falanisi Vaca in the backfield.
Have to be worried about his safety right here because they were actually bringing pressure. They had 2 out left, and it looked like they brought Jones down as kind of an outside, like a corner blitz on that play. They were able to wrap him down.
From the 3 now, 2nd and 12. Riggs looking, throws, and it's intercepted! Hamilton!
His pass is intercepted.
Got that ball right back. Well, how about that? We made a note about how there's no turnovers so far in the third quarter alone. 3 turnovers. We had the fumble, another fumble right at the goal line by Wilson, and then that pick right there, Chase Riggs, his first turnover, the Timberwolves' first turnover of the night.
The Timberwolves' first turnover of the night. It was intended for Livingston on the slant, and Hamilton read that thing like a book. Pinched right down from his safety spot, jumped the route, and now it's the Stallions who have the ball right back in the red zone. So if you're wondering just how good this Stallions team is, there it is.
And despite that fumble by Wilson, don't expect any hesitancy to give him the ball once more.
Amen to that. Right back to him, down inside the 5. He gets 8.
Right about where he lost the ball last time, so now he's thinking, all right, get another shot at it. Let's get it. Let's get number 9.
Remember, he has 8 total touchdowns tonight, 4 receiving, 4 rushing. Dylan Hamilton has the other touchdown. It's Harris on the keeper, stuttered, and then he got the first down, or he might not have. He might have actually been short. He is short. He's short by about a few feet.
Third
and an inch coming up here for the Stallions. They give it right back to Wilson. Does he get number 9? He's going to get a shove. He's going to get the first down, but he's not going to get the touchdown.
Wilson with the carry.
He will be short by about a yard.
Well, it's tough for a defense when they get the ball, right? Already in the red zone, they have to defend, and the other team gets now 8 shots at trying to get into the end zone. As we have another player down from the Timberwolves side.
Yeah, Cody Hawks looks like he's down. Looks like holding on to that left shoulder. I don't want to speculate anything, but Brace Helm is going to come in to relieve him, and Hawks, who recovered the fumble earlier that led to the touchdown, is going to take a seat here.
Yeah, sometimes in those big scrum plays, players are just caught right in the middle right there. Sometimes your arm can get caught between 2 big guys and just bend away it's not supposed to. Might have been what happened. Again, like Alex said, don't want to make any speculation right there. Hope he's doing okay.
1st and goal now at the 1, or just outside the 1. Brock Wilson has 8 total touchdowns tonight, 4 receiving, 4 rushing. The record in a single game is 9. Or rather, the single game record is 11. Set in 2016, twice. Wilson, the handoff, touchdown.
Wilson with the carry for a touchdown.
Right into the end zone. That is total touchdown number 9, Amrine. What a workhorse he has been all night.
Yeah, and, for this offensive unit, I'm just looking at the schedule right here. This is the most points they've scored, with exception to just 2 games, one being Skyline, in which they scored 68 back on August 26th, and on the 12th of August against Pineview in St. George when they scored 72. So they have a very good shot at this being the most points they've scored so far this season.
The extra point up and good. And with 1:40 to go here in the third quarter, it is now 64-35 Stansbury. Back after this word from UCCU.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone or computer and select the low-rate option you prefer.
And then sit back and enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a low-rate line of credit. ready for whatever life throws at you.
To learn more or start your application, visit uccu.com or stop by any branch.
KSL Sports Rewind's presentation of high school football continues next Friday. The UHSAA football playoffs begin. Coverage starts at 6 p.m. on KSLSports.com. Check the high school streaming guide for the games we'll be airing that night, as well as which games we will be covering as a KSL Sports Rewind team. If it's the playoffs, there's no better place to experience it than KSL Sports Rewind. Luke Daines kicks off. Hunter will let it go into the end zone.
And I was wondering right there if it kind of actually hit Hunter, but he was pretty casual and then he rolled back in the end zone, so
from their own 20-yard line.
Didn't right there. And, you know, Tyler, if you're watching, you're probably comfortable keeping watching as I made that 28-3 reference right there. You know, because
he won't be comfortable because he's playing my 49ers on Sunday.
No, okay,
That's definitely, he will not be comfortable then.
Yeah, Marcus Mariota and crew are going to have a tough go at it going up against that squad. But,
yeah.
you know, it was kind of looking like for a little bit it was a perfect scenario for the Timberwolves, right? They got the turnover, touchdown, and then another turnover right in their own 5-yard line. But then with that interception, that was kind of a bubble burster right there.
So back to work goes Chase Riggs on 1st and 10 from the 20. And it's a screen pass to Dash McCann, and that gets blown up. In the backfield is Baker with a little extracurricular activity, no flag.
Riggs' pass complete to Dash McCann.
Lost maybe a yard.
For about a 2-yard loss. Brings up second down.
Second down 18 now. Second down 12 now from the 18. Livingston now in the backfield. Interesting wrinkle. Austin Heaps trying to get something going here on this drive. Riggs looking. Screen got blown up. They throw to Livingston, but he's out of bounds. His foot dragged out.
His pass ball is incomplete to Luke Livingston. Brings up third down.
And it's third down. It wouldn't have been a really long gain anyway. It might have been a yard.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is just the point where if you're Austin Heaps, you just got to empty the playbook here.
Yeah, try each and everything because nothing's worked out so far. And last time when that interception happened, they were trying just that classic go-to route with Luke Livingston running that slant across the middle. They read it the whole way.
And that pass is incomplete. Dropped again.
Riggs' pass ball
by Easton Bretzing, and it'll be 4th down and another punt.
Intended for Easton Bretzing.
Well, it looks like Chase Riggs. Well, no, yeah, they are going to bring out the punt unit. It looked like Chase Riggs was waiting to see what the call was going to be, and after a little bit of hesitation, perhaps from Coach Riggs, he decided he was going to punt it. Keep this game, you know, at least if they didn't convert right there, you know, mercy rule would have been ensued shortly after because we don't know if there's a solution for Brock Wilson out of the Stallions backfield.
9 total touchdowns tonight for Brock Wilson. He's already in the UHSAA record book as it is. The record in the game is 11 as Harris gets off a good one. Hamilton will make the fair catch.
Fair catch by Hamilton.
Oh, we got a flag.
And we have a late flag behind the play for what looks to be a block in the black. Or something. I don't know what it's going to be, but...
We've had a few times where our attention is kind of focused to the other end of the play, and because of the fact that we don't have the ability to have instant replay, we can't exactly see what the flag is until we hear what the ref says.
64-35 our score. At one point it was 21-16 in favor of Timpanogos. Since then, the Stallions have outscored the Wolves 48-14. As the frustration beginning to set in here for Austin Heaps and co. As we have, after the play, we had an unnecessary roughness against Stansbury. So it'll back up the Stallions 15 from the dead ball spot.
Well, as we said, just based on the offense.
Just prolonging the inevitable. I mean,
yeah.
Offensively.
And hey, get Brock Wilson and crew some more yards in their stat books.
That's been a very clean game so far here tonight. Not many flags, but so far in this third quarter, it has been a flag fest.
No, it has, really. We've seen the laundry thrown left and right out here.
1st and 10 Stallions from the 27-yard line.
Seen more laundry recycled than BYU's recycled kickers so far. I had to put that in there.
That's one special teams that, you know, they're having some trouble figuring out.
Harris looking. Harris throws down the field. Hamilton! Behind the defense! Goodbye! Touchdown! No flags!
That was perhaps one of the prettiest balls that I've seen at the high school level. That was perfectly timed ball. There was no hesitation. There was no speeding up. He caught it right in stride. And as soon as he got it, he knew that he had that safety right in his tail. So he just broke out to the right, got away from him, and then turned on the Jets.
50 seconds left here in the third. It is 70-35. The second time this year Stansbury's put up a 70-piece.
And they are 2 points away. Well, after the extra point, if they make it 1 point away from tying the amount of points they scored against Pineview with a whole quarter left to play.
But we have reached the mercy rule, and so the officials have begun running the clock. And Luke Daines' extra point is good. Clock officially stops with 40 seconds to go. 71-35, Amrine. I mean, it's just astounding just how efficient, just how machine, clockwork-like this Stansbury team is.
No, really, and, you know, I kind of made a reference to it before we were game. We were talking. I was talking with you. I was talking with our cameraman Tino just about how the Timberwolves, you know, they got a few just, you know, great players here and there, right, on both sides of the ball. But this Stansbury side, I mean, they just have playmaker after playmaker, and I think they have a lot of unsung heroes, despite the fact that the offensive line has had some penalties called against them. I mean, you'll get those with ineligible receiver downfield and the holding calls. Those will happen, especially when you run that RPO. But, I mean, they have a lot to be happy about with the blocks that they provided for Brock Wilson, for the protection that they've given Ezra Harris. Just like on that last play, he had plenty of time to let his receiver get downfield and finally make that deep throw.
Booch kick goes to Harvey on the 10. Remember, clock will only stop now for scoring plays and penalties as Harvey gets over the 20 to about the 24-yard line. Clock will stop with 31 seconds to go temporarily, and then it will wind as soon as the ball is ready for play. That's how it rolls in the mercy rule. Yeah,
and so with the mercy rule going and, you know, things looking like they're going to go the Stallions' way by the time the fourth quarter rolls to a close, you know, kind of, I don't know if you want to kind of explain to the audience, Alex, the kind of the playoff implications of what this game means.
Yeah, Amrine and I were talking about it on the way up here. Timpanogos in the final UHSAA regular RPI before Friday's RPI release was at 18. They are scheduled to play Box Elder next week on Friday in Brigham City. And Stansbury. And Stansbury, meanwhile, will take a first-round bye with this win here tonight. And really, I don't think the coaches got told that the mercy rule is going because they just had to call a timeout there.
Yeah, well, and right there as well, we have one of the coordinators up on top of the press box, and I could kind of just overhear him telling one of the coaches down on the field to stop the clock, as it looked like there was some miscommunication all around right there. Wanted to get the right playoff. Don't want anything else ugly to happen as they get the ball back.
So we just talked about the playoff implications of this game. Stansbury was number 6 in the RPI. Timpanogos 18 going into this game. I mean, Timpanogos, I mean, that's not an easy game they have to play. If, in fact, it is Box Elder they play next Friday in Brigham City, you have that on top of a possible 2-hour bus ride to Brigham City North. Talk about a tough draw for the Timpanogos Timberwolves, and then they have to play Timpview if they survive that game.
No, especially coming off a loss like this, right? Because it's kind of hanging on your mind. You can kind of use it as motivation, but a loss of this big score, I mean, that's even harder to get over, especially on the road.
Last play of the third quarter with the mercy rule as Riggs throws it for a prayer for Livingston, and he drops it. That is so rare. You rarely see that from a man of Luke Livingston's caliber, and that is going to do it for the third quarter. It is 71-35 in favor of the Stansbury Stallions. Back in a moment after this word from Brent Brown Toyota Scion.
When Brent Brown Toyota in Orem became the #1 Toyota dealer in the nation in customer loyalty, our sales surged. That continued explosive growth leaves us without the amount of used cars to meet demand, paying unheard of prices for trade-ins, or we'll just buy your car outright at Brent Brown Toyota in Orem.
.106 total points have been scored tonight, and 71 of them have been by the Stansbury Stallions. Welcome back, KSL Sports Rewind's presentation of Timpanogos football, presented by Brent Brown, Toyota Scion, Alexander Timberlake, Alex Amrine. Our telecast presented by WGU, where you can earn a 1-year MBA with WGU. They provide an education that is attainable, affordable, and full of support. That's the power of the nonprofit
Give it up for
University of U. Running clock here, as we're often running here in the fourth quarter. Chase Riggs in the gun. Riggs, pressure coming, a lot of trouble, and he gets it away. It's caught.
Riggs' pass out complete.
Josh Graff, there was a whole bunch of white shirts in his face, and he got it off.
Yeah, Josh Graff right there, and I was honestly kind of waiting for a roughing the passer call to be thrown right there as Chase Riggs got hit high on that play. It even looked like a bit under his chin.
Hadley could not come up with that one. Pass incomplete.
Second down.
I mean, and Chase Riggs,
what a tough kid.
Yeah, it's a tough kid. Coming out of a shoulder injury, having the confidence to come back and play when he clearly, we saw that, his throwing motion was still a little limited. I was wondering how it's going to be tonight. It looks good tonight, despite the fact that they're down by a lot here in the fourth quarter, as the refs are discussing a little before they get the play.
I think it's a spot they're looking at here.
Third or fourth time tonight.
Yes. In fact, I think we have
sideline.
In fact, I think we have a sideline warning against Stansbury there.
5-yard penalty brings up second
so
and
that
5,
is their second sideline warning, and that's going to generate a first down, or second down and 5.
But as I was saying, Chase Riggs just sticking in there, staying confident, keeping his head up despite all the hits that he's taken.
Trying to figure out the down and distance marker. It says first down on the sounds first down on the other side. It should be second down and 5 because it was a dead ball foul. Actually, they are going to see it. I thought they are going to say it's actually first and 5 because it was before the play, or rather, it was during the play. So if Timpanogos scores on this drive, it will be the first time all year they've put up more than 20 points and have not won a game. Remarkable. Riggs swings it out in the flat. That's complete to Bretzing, and Baker's all over him. Right about midfield.
Riggs' swing pass out to Easton Bretzing.
And right now we've really seen, except for a few deep shots here and there to Luke Livingston, including one that Luke Livingston almost had before the end of the third quarter, they've really been limited to the flats on these plays right now.
Riggs looking, throws for Hadley. Double catch, he's got it. And makes a move. Inside the 20, inside the 15 to the 10. Out of bounds at the 5-yard line.
Pass is completed to Hadley.
And finally, the Wolves are in the red zone again.
A great play right there. That was another one of those balls kind of thrown up this time, not to Luke Livingston. But how about the effort by number 54? That was Michael Giovihan who chased him down.
And the pass is batted down.
Incomplete.
Looking for Livingston on the slant.
Second goal.
Yeah, Chase Riggs is looking back to the rest for a flag right there, and not going to be a flag if the ball is thrown 5 feet behind the receiver.
I think he might have actually been looking for an offside more than anything, not really a pass interference. Because once the ball is tipped, it's not interference anymore. Livingston still one-on-one on the outside against Hamilton. Riggs looking his way, fade route to the end zone, broken up.
Riggs' pass intended for Livingston.
That time Hamilton got the better of him.
Third down.
And it brings up third down.
Yeah, and right there, and getting the better of Luke Livingston is also one of those things we haven't heard a lot, not just tonight, but so far this season. Luke Livingston, on the other side of the ball, Brock Wilson's really looking like the way Luke Livingston has been playing all season.
They're looking for him again this time, and it's just over his fingertips, incomplete.
Riggs' pass intended for
and bring up fourth down. Again. That's 3 straight plays that Riggs has looked to Livingston.
Down.
If that doesn't show the confidence and trust they have in this guy, especially at this point in the game when they're trying to get points and make the score look a bit more comfortable.
So now the big shift goes on here. Riggs sprints, looks, still looks, nobody open, still nobody open, now throws, caught, touchdown, Caleb Hadley.
Riggs' pass is completed. Out to Caleb Hadley for a touchdown. Touchdown, T-Wolves.
And the clock is still running right now.
Yep, as it will for all plays outside of the mercy rule, until it is officially not in it anymore. So after this score, it will stop. Riggs throws, caught, 2 points.
2-point conversion is good. Bring the score
so now the clock
to
will officially stop with 7:35 to go here in the game. As it's 71-43, which is turning into more of like a basketball score at this point.
I know, I was about to say, I think we've called some games that have, basketball games that have been lower scoring than this, which is it's honestly ridiculous.
114 total points scored tonight by both teams, but 71 of them have been by the Stansbury Stallions. So, as we said, they're inside of the mercy rule. They will not run the clock anymore. The mercy rule will run until the scoring drive is completed.
Well, for sure, one thing I think you have to keep an eye on for the Stansbury defense, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't just keep on handing it off. And it'll be interesting to see if they do try to give it to Brock Wilson. Maybe try and, maybe the coach knows, hey, this guy could break some pretty good records out here tonight. Or if they're going to start giving it to those guys who've been on the bench here tonight.
7.5 to go here in the game. 71-43 our score. Ever since the Timpanogos Timberwolves were up by 5, it's been all Stansbury here in this one, as this one goes through the end zone for a touchback.
And Stansbury is lined up, kind of ready, anticipating a bit of an onside kick. They tried it. Right there, Breach kicked it out of the back of the end zone to set up the Stansbury Stallions. And like I said, this team has done a really good job, as I said. And, something I pointed out in the first half is, they were being a little bit, I remember saying, I was like, oh, they're a little bit dry. And then, boy, did they just shove those words right down my mouth, because they have scored 71 points. I am never questioning the Stansbury Stallions again. You can hold me on record.
(71-43). So now the backups are in here for the Stansbury Stallions. Head off up the middle. Here goes Danes. And Danes will get it to about the 30-yard line. Apologies, folks, for the language you heard in our background. Some of the fans are a little out of order here tonight, obviously.
8-yard gain makes it second down.
And as the clock does continue to run, it's going to be kind of a disappointing night for the Timberwolves at their senior night.
Yeah, they are going to have their senior night royally spoiled tonight by the Stansbury Stallions. I mean, this will be it's so unbelievable we have to keep saying it. This will be the first game Timpanogos is going to put up over 20 points this year, and they're not going to win a game. Or they're going to put up more than 30 this year, and they're not going to win a game.
Yeah, and that just shows the just absolute caliber of the Stansbury offense.
It really does. Here's a handoff up the middle to a big hole. Again into the secondary, getting brought down. Also the 41-yard line.
Ferry with the carry.
Tyson Ferry right there.
And Tyson Ferry, you're right.
Who's that guy? That speed right there. Just boom right up the middle. A bit of a shorter back compared to Wilson as he runs off to the sideline to get another back in there. Wow, that was some explosive speed.
Under 6 minutes to go. Amrine will be off next week for the playoffs. I'll be with Brett Hammer for the first round game we go call. Again, as we said, the final RPIs will be out Friday morning. Dusty and Dane will have a full breakdown of all of that, as well as the most intriguing matchups of the weekend. And as we said, Timpanogos is scheduled to play Box Elder in the playoffs. Stansbury has a bye. Pass over the middle is caught. Penalty flag goes down again for yet another illegal man down the field. Theme of the night.
Geared pass completed with flag on the play.
Been like the 4th or 5th time we've seen an illegal man down the field against both teams here in the second half.
Yeah, I think if my count is right, that was number 5.
So Brock Wilson will end up with 9 total touchdowns tonight. He'll be finishing 2 off the UHSAA single game record.
Hey, well, this is always...
What a performance by him, though.
Yeah, despite the fact that he didn't, break that record, I mean, he's still going to be able to, look back at this night and think, hey, I remember the time I came to the Timpanogos Timberwolves home field, spoiled their senior night, and just ran all over them 9 times into the end zone. Great night for that young man. Expect more of him throughout the postseason.
4 rushing touchdowns, 5 passing touchdowns. Coleman Dearden, by the way, is in now at quarterback for the Stallions. Again, the clock is running. Here's a handoff to Ferry, and Ferry gets hit in the hole. He gets about maybe 5.
Barry with that carry.
So Stansbury will have a week off next week.
Brings up 2nd and 10.
And they'll have a chance to rest their bodies and get ready for a potential second-round home playoff game. They'll host at least one. We know that. And then after that, if all else holds, they will likely be on the road for the next one. And Alex Amrine, I mean, I tell you what, 5A and 6A playoffs are going to be fun. I mean, you have Lehigh, Timpview, Springville, the top 3 in the 5A region, and then you have the 6A, all Region 4 teams basically battling it out for spots at Rice Eccles Stadium.
I know I'm going to be, I have to be out of town next week. I'm bummed that I can't be there with you, but you get to be with Brett once more. You're going to have. Did you get any Top Gun references last time? I know you were anticipating that.
I don't know. As Danes gets to the edge here, he gets taken down after a pickup of about maybe 6.
Danes with the carry.
He didn't really. I mean, we didn't really bring it up that much. I think we were more focused on the prowess and the power of the West Panthers offense. I mean, you talk about that offense. I mean, they're going to be a dangerous team to watch come playoff time. Speaking of a team that's dangerous.
Well, I remember I texted him kind of a bit after the game and ended. I was like, hey, how'd the game go? I hadn't yet checked the score yet. And I was like, oh, who won? He just said West, period. By a lot.
By a lot. That's all you. That's the headline.
That's all I needed. I said, okay.
That's the headline. That's the headline. It was 35-7. And by the way, West against Granger's going out over on KSLSports.com. You can watch that live right now. What will decide the Region 2 title and potentially a home playoff game. We know West and Granger and Roy are all in the playoffs. The question of who's going to host who as the ball comes out. Ball's on the turf, and it looks like Timpanogos has it, and they do.
Turnover, Timpanogos football.
Jose Reyes, the senior playing his last home game, is the one who came up with the fumble.
Well, there you go right there. Turnover number 4 in the night, third for the Timberwolves.
Yes, third takeaway of the night for the Timberwolves, all fumbles.
Too little, too late, though.
It is, quite, but it just shows you, Amrine, that this Timpanogos team is going to be very hard to knock out in the playoffs. I mean, whoever they play in the playoffs better be careful.
They're going to continue to give their all, and they got a great fan base right now. Their team has been just so supportive of them from the sidelines.
Riggs looking, blindside pressure coming, has to get rid of it now, throws on the run, it's picked off! Intercepted by Baker!
Riggs' pass is intercepted.
Well, if Elisa Tuiaki's watching, I think you better watch the film on this kid because this guy is a baller.
Yeah, no, that was just a play right there where he kind of had to wait for him to come. There wasn't really any receivers near him. Chase Riggs tried to force the ball right there. He was getting pressured. But at this point in the game, you're trying to get the ball out. You're trying to make something happen. At the end of the day, it's like, hey, if I throw a pick, all it's going to do for me is going to hurt my stat sheet a little bit. But I care about my team right now. I want us to get our confidence back.
While we have a moment, we'd like to take this opportunity to thank Timpanogos High School for allowing us to cover them throughout the entire high school football regular season. Of course, you heard the voices of Mark Winterton and CJ Roderick. Their first game between Jordan and Timpanogos back on August the 12th. It's now mid-October almost. Alex Amrine and I have done 5 Timpanogos football games, and the hospitality we've been shown here at THS has been second to none this season.
Yeah, no, it's been great coming here. It's been a lot of fun. Just one thing that I just love doing is just seeing all the fans out here. We've had some pretty fun experiences, even when we followed some the Timpanogos fan base out to Cedar Valley, and Cedar Valley, they had quite the fan base too. I remember we were on top of that press box, rocking and rolling that whole night as that press box was literally rocking and rolling. It felt like we were taking surf lessons on top of that press box.
Second down and 5 now. So again, we'd like to thank Timpanogos High for their hospitality all season long. We hope we get to cover this team again next season.
Carry again by Zhuzhin.
I'd like to thank also our camera guys throughout the regular season. Chase Campbell, who did the first couple of games with us. Tino Psyche, who's done the last couple of games with us.
34-yard line, good for first down.
We now look forward to a basketball season with Tino, which will promptly start in about a month. And in case you didn't hear, folks, we are trying to nail down the opening night of the season. American Fork, the defending 6A champions, and Ryan Cuff taking on Matt Barnes and Olympus on November 29th. That is going to be some matchup down there in Salt Lake City as handoff goes up the middle. We'll go under a minute. And I suspect where the ball is, they will bring the seniors in one more time. Ezra Harrison Co. will come back in for the victory formation, and that will do it. As Stansbury will complete a 10-0 undefeated regular season. Timpanogos will fall to 7-3, but not for a very valiant effort here tonight, Amrine. Give them a lot of credit. They hung in there tough with this Stansbury team, just as we probably thought they would.
No, yeah, and you know, they showed a lot of fight and grit out here tonight. I mean, Chase Riggs, you know, like he never seemed like they were, you know, out of this game, right? He just wanted to keep on playing like it was 0-0 at the start of the first quarter as we wind down to a close right now. But a great job by the Stansbury unit. They have so many good playmakers. I'm so excited to see where they go the postseason. They deserve, you know, one of those high-seeded spots, and I think they'll do very well for themselves.
That'll do it. Stansbury defeats Timpanogos 71-43. 114 total points scored tonight. 71 of them by the Stansbury Stallions. And both teams now head into the playoffs with much to prove. We'll be back to wrap it up in just a little bit.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone or computer and select the low-rate option you prefer.
And then sit back and enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a low-rate line of credit. Ready for whatever life throws at you.
To learn more or start your application, visit uccu.com or stop by any branch.
Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned.
KSL Sports Rewind's presentation of high school football continues. Alex Amrine.
Next Friday. Thank you.
Here at Timpanogos High School. Timpanogos football, KSL Sports Rewind, presented by Brent Brown Toyota Scion. Wrapping up one final time this regular season. Stansbury over Timpanogos 71-43. Alex Amrine, final thoughts on a really well-played game tonight.
I know. I mean, going to this game, you know, I know that I thought it was going to be kind of close, and then eventually Stansbury was going to pull away. That is kind of what we saw right there. It was Timpanogos who got on the board first, much to, I think, I mean, at least my surprise. I don't know if you were surprised, but I was surprised, you know, how back and forth it was. It was kind of looking like a shootout there for a little bit, and then just some mistakes here and there and some great defensive plays on the side of the Stansbury Stallions really allowed them to pull away, and then, you know, we had one certain running back on that Stallion side who was just one heck of a player.
And he is our Heidemann & Associates player of the game, presented by Heidemann & Associates, the full-service law firm dedicated to winning for their clients. The player of the game, presented by Heidemann & Associates, it's Brock Wilson.
Brock Wilson, 9 total touchdowns, 4 on the ground, 5 through the air. What else can be said? That guy, he just can do so much. Time and time again, we saw him catching balls through the air. We also saw him with a great ability to run downhill, also just running out of the shotgun. He just has so much speed and power behind him, and like the inability for him to get tackled is just incredible. I know there was one time in particular where we thought he got wrapped up. He's kind of out of view on the far side of the field, and we're like, oh, you know, that was a good, it was on a third down conversion, and we're like, oh, great third down conversion, and all of a sudden I saw him run to the end zone. I'm like, how did that happen? And that was a touchdown. Now that was touchdown number 5 or 6. I don't know, I lost count at that point.
Well, we could have counted it on one hand at that point. Well, Alex Amrine, this is the last regular season broadcast that we'll do together this year. Of course, next we'll do the playoffs. Mm-hmm. This is the last time that you and I will get to work together this football season, except for probably one more game. What are you most looking forward to about the playoffs, and who do you think right now going in is the favorite in both 5 and 6A?
Goodness, I don't know. I mean, I think that it's one of those things where, you know, you want to pick a team, but there's too many. Like, for me, at the high school level, especially the college level, I don't want to like choose one because it ruins the excitement for me. I just want to go and see these teams compete, and so I'm just going to look forward. I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm going to look forward to calling a game with you in the playoffs.
We will certainly be there. KSL Sports Rewind is your home of the UHSAA playoffs, the official streaming partner of the UHSAA. We'll be back next Friday with the start of the first round. Amrine, enjoy your week off. We'll let you know how it goes, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks for possibly a quarterfinal game. I'd like to thank again all of our crews throughout the regular season. Tino Psyche here on top of the broadcast booth with us. We'd like to thank Timpanogos High School for allowing us to cover them all regular season long. And now we look forward to the playoffs, where the final 24 will be determined. Find out Friday morning here on KSLSports.com. When the final RPIs come out, we will then know who will play who in the 2022 UHSAA playoffs presented by Mountain America Credit Union on the road to Rice-Eccles Stadium. Until then, the final score is 71-43, Stansbury victorious. For my broadcast partner, Alex Amrine, all season long. For our cameraman here tonight, Tino Saiki, my name is Alexander Timula. Until we meet again, malama pono kekahi kekahi. Take care of one another, everyone. Aloha from Utah. Good night. Remember that you'll be found, and we'll see you in the playoffs.